world? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by my brothers in arms. Man, we got the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid in the building. Pete to some, petty to us. We've got the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan the Don in the building. What's going on with y'all today, man? How y'all feeling, boy?
Yeah, I'm good. We here. Everybody on time?
Hey, I like how that's the benchmark for us. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like it's 6 o'clock in the morning. We here. Everybody on time. Kids drinking out of a regular glass. I can trust this morning. He was drinking out of a measuring cup the other day. I couldn't trust it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. I do like this though. Kid always keeping it different, dog. Kid is always coming with a different camera angle. No two episodes are the same. God dog, he pulled out the measuring cup. At this point, he's doing it on purpose. Oh, man. We can't hear you, my boy. Your mic muted? There you go.
So this has been the same for the last couple episodes.
Has it? I feel like you was going another angle the other time. You know what though? You be flipping your camera too. You be facing different directions on us sometimes. We don't know what's going on. Like in the middle of the show one day, he just started flipping the camera. I was like, "What's happening right now?" You know what I'm saying, right?
And he be trying to get the wave. He be trying to get the wave shots, bro. He not slick.
He trying to get the best wave shot. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at him.
Wave shot.
I mean, is it that angle? Or is it that angle?
See, you got to get the lighting right on that, John. You know what I'm saying? The lighting was hitting perfectly on the waves, but it wasn't hitting perfectly on you. It was just hitting on the waves.
Well, this angle it is then.
What's going on with everybody this morning, man? We got a lot to get into in about 3 hours worth of time. Does the NFL have an integrity issue? We heard yesterday a lot of coaches coming out. Well, really just two, but two's a lot, in my opinion, when you're talking about only two black coaches. And does that happen around the league a lot more often when teams are being paid to lose? I'm not saying that that's a black and white issue. That could be an integrity issue around the NFL. Jim Harbaugh is back to Michigan, where we thought he was going to get handed this job. We thought he was moonwalking into a job, and I believe Jim Harbaugh thought he was moonwalking into a job. And then all of this starts happening, and you have actually got to sit down and have an interview, and people don't believe in you anymore. But the Vikings are expected to hire Rams O'Connell as the next head coach. Interesting decision there. And then we talk about the Bears, of course. Bears rounding out their staff and Bulls trade rumors. We got a lot to get into, man. And of course, talking about them Brooklyn Nets that Marv going to be in here killing you after they dropped last night's game.
Wow, they hit a 6-game losing streak, very similar to our losing streak.
We didn't lose 6 games.
We lost 5.
Did we lose 5 in a row? I didn't think it got that high. I thought it got to 4.
Y'all did.
You got the 5? I thought it only got the 4.
It was 5 because y'all lost to Boston and Orlando.
Yeah, but I thought we got a win in between that.
Nah.
Oh, well,
I thought we got a win.
Even if we did.
I know it got ugly. I know it was a slide there for a minute, and people was ready to end it all, so we had to talk them off the ledge.
Teams go on slides all the time.
Mike Davidson said one of these lives, kids just gonna be a silhouette with waves gleaming. Who's that shadow in the corner with the fresh waves?
That might not be a bad thing right there.
Hey, that'll be dope, dog. That should definitely be a thing where we do it with Pete Casanova, where it's the first 48 one where they black you all the way out and your voice is different, but just the waves is showing. Hey, if we figure out how to do that, that'll be lit.
We gotta figure that out now.
And that's when I realized my name was Pete. Oh man. Like I said, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. If you can't stay and watch the whole live, man, you can listen over on the Contender app, the Contender, where they got nonstop sports talk while you're on the clock. Appreciate all y'all for pulling up and showing love this early morning, man. Download that in the Play Store or on the Google Play.
Man, how's everybody living out here with this weather?
Bro, I'm going to say this, right? So, ordered my snowblower. Told y'all that yesterday. Didn't show up. So I had to go out there. I got the electric shovel, though. I'm not in a bad situation. It's not like I'm doing the whole driveway.
Dog, what the heck is an electric shovel?
Bro, so if you get a house and you don't invest in this, you're doing yourself a disservice. The electric shovel is basically a handheld snowblower, but you can't like really pivot. Like with a snowblower, you can walk through and you can turn the chute to where you want the snow to go. It's going forward. But what is maybe 8-minute job doing the stairs turns into a solid 1.5, 2-minute job. If you're just doing the walkway, just trying to move down real quick, dog, gotta invest in the electric shovel. It's killing the game out here. It's killing the game. But I like the electric shovel as an accent piece. You do your driveway a little bit, maybe get the edges or something like that. You do your do my deck. I can do my deck. I have a deck now. I said deck, D-E-C-K, deck. I have a deck now. I can do the deck with it. I can do the front stairs. Don't be uncomfortable. I said deck. You're drinking out of a measuring cup. You're in no position to judge.
Like that has anything to do with what you were saying.
I said deck. Hey, you got uncomfortable by the word deck. I said deck.
I didn't get uncomfortable. I was just looking at the optics of it. That's all.
Hey, man, let's stop decking around. But
electric
shovel. Just do the quick things that you got to do to get the house done, man. Electric shovel's perfect for that. I had to use it on the whole driveway yesterday, though. That part is not fun.
Oh, those things. Okay.
Yeah, that part is not fun. That'll leave your back sore. That'll leave, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's much better, but it's still, you out there for 20, 30 minutes pushing that thing around. Where with my snowblower, I could have done it in 10 minutes and called it a weekend. So, yeah, yesterday was not fun. And I had to go out there about, how many times I go out there? I think we got like 10 inches of snow over here. Maybe 8 to 10 inches, something like that. So I had to go out there a couple of times too. Shout out to the neighbors though, man. The neighbors knew that the snowblower was out of commission. They came through. They did our front driveway, like the front part of it, and the walkway pretty much all the way up the blocks. It's good to have good neighbors, man. You got to have good neighbors in this world. Gotta have good neighbors in this world.
Gotta have good neighbors in this world.
Gotta have good neighbors in this world. Otherwise, you end up ready to burn their house down. It's all good though.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Oh, was that the line?
Ain't gonna get past that. The heck you just said?
On that note.
What was that?
Oh, my bad. All right. So the NFL with an integrity issue.
I love Pat.
Switching over to integrity now.
We're going to integrity, and I hate to say it, Pat, but this may legitimately be my last winter.
Why you say that?
Dog, I sat there and I had to shovel a little bit. And I was just like, you know what? I don't mind the shoveling. I don't want to shovel. And I don't want to pay nobody to shovel. I don't want to see snow that often. I want to see snow when I want to see snow. I want snow to be in a special occasion. When it snows, it's like, oh my God, there's real snow. Like I want it to be that. And you know where I found that? Anytime I went south. So guess what? The warmer climate is calling my name. I am like, hey, I could still be Central Time. I could fly in and see Pat. I mean, at this rate, whether I'm 10 hours away or 3 hours away or 2 hours away, it don't matter. It's still a distance, right? So I could fly in, at the same time. I could always do the show. Same time, Central Time. This might be legitimately my last winter.
It would actually be worse for you. Because down south, what is it? It's an hour. No, it'd be better. What is it? In Texas, it's an hour ahead.
The spot that I would move to is Central Time.
Fam, it's so weird. It's like part of Texas is definitely an hour ahead because it's underneath Georgia, and part of Texas is an hour behind because it's underneath it. I mean, I'd be like, like I get the
Texas
Earth
has,
is
I think,
round, but
all 4 time zones. It has Mountain Time, Central Time, Eastern Time, Central Time, Mountain Time, and then there's the West Coast. A small part of it is 2 hours behind.
makes no sense.
That's going to show you how freaking big Texas is.
It does. A lot of land down there. That's, hey man. I mean, what I'm gonna tell you, don't move. Like,
Hey dog.
hey, listen. I told you the only reason I made this commitment is because I said I am going to become the face for Chicago sports, and it's very tough to do in Texas. Like,
they forget to tell you about the tornadoes, floods, and hurricanes. Oh, okay.
hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. That is one thing that I saw on TikTok. This lady was cleaning off her car. She was like, "We don't have tornadoes, we don't have floods, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have tornadoes, we don't have floods." Like her scraping the ice off. We don't have hurricanes. She just kept repeating that. She was like, "This is the Chicago mantra or the Midwest mantra."
Does Dallas get a lot of tornadoes?
Oh yeah, open space.
Oh, I mean, I would assume
We
so.
avoid a lot of the tornado unless you plan on living in the city, like in the city, because they like a lot of the buildings throw off that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why Chicago doesn't end up with almost any tornadoes. I remember we were down there for my daughter's when my daughter was in the NICU. At the hospital down there, and I was in Target just buying clothes because I ended up staying overnight in the hospital with him, so I was just grabbing stuff, and a tornado warning went off. Everybody looked at their phone, and not one person stopped what they were doing to worry about the tornado coming through, because they were just like, there is no chance that mug gets to the inner city. If I get hit by a tornado, it was gonna hit us anyway. We all finna die.
The Dallas tornado on the night of October 20th, 2019, did an estimated $1.5 billion in damage, making it the costliest tornado event in Texas history.
Yeah, have fun.
I have to rethink my life choices.
Hey kid, when you shoveling that front walk, first off, get you an electric shovel, cuts the time down dramatically. Second off, we have no tornadoes. It was something different in the middle. I think she said we have no tornadoes, we don't have alligators, we don't have hurricanes. We don't have tornadoes, we don't have alligators, we don't got hurricanes.
I'm telling you right now.
Hey, dog, listen, I can do a lot. I can deal with a lot. 1,000-pound reptile pull up in my backyard. I'm not prepared for that. And I like animals. I can deal with animals. I honestly probably know what to do if an alligator pulled up. I'm one of the few people that probably would know what to do. But I'm going to tell you this right now. 1,000-pound reptile pull up in my backyard.
You see this alligator in your backyard?
You know what I'm saying?
Just know I'm upstairs calling the cops. Hey, somebody get this little thing right here.
Hey, kid. Oh, God. It's not on God, it's oh God.
Oh, God. Hey, listen, I gotta rethink this, dog, because at the same time.
And that's the thing. They don't make no noise. Like they do, but not usually till they up on you. So these mugs really just be turning around and just being like, 1,000-pound animal going in the house.
Hey, listen. I say this. I love Floridians. Is that how we call them?
Yeah, Floridians.
Because they see them things, and guess what? They be like, "Oh, it's an alligator," and they be like, "No, dog, it's an alligator." It's like, yeah,
that's normal down there for them, bro.
Man,
but then got the
video where Buddy put the thing in the garbage can. I was like, "Oh, he real bold," and I like how bold he is.
Nah, he from Brooklyn though. He from Brooklyn though, which leads me to ask the question: what's going on with the rats in Brooklyn that he was prepared for this situation?
I've been to New York 3 times in my life. Every time I've seen some form of rodent or insect that was way bigger than it should be. I saw roaches that was like 12 inches long, dog. I mean, legitimately big roaches. And I was just like, dog, when did they get this big? Like, no
Hey,
wonder
they
the
gotta be
Teenage
eating the
Mutant Ninja
garbage
Turtles
on the
was in
street, bro.
New York, because look at all the mutations of these freaking animals you got. Like, Master Splinter may really be living in the subway messing around with y'all, because them rats are huge. They look like freaking dogs and cats, and they jump. You can't tell me ain't no freaking turtles underneath there fighting crime. Come on
Yo,
now, dog. No. Mm-mm.
now while I was
Mm-mm.
down in the city, the Chicago rats is different. These mugs do parkour. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen squirrels jump off buildings, and I expect that. Chicago rats do parkour. I was not prepared for that.
By Navy Pier?
I'm
You saw him by Navy Pier?
no, down by the hospital.
Now the one by
I'm
Navy Pier is
walking
mad
down the
nice
street.
though.
I'm walking down the street. Two rats get into it. The one rat start chasing the other one. The one rat runs up a wall, does a backflip, lands behind him, and tackles him. I'm like, what did I just see? Master Splinter's real.
Dog.
Master Splinter's real. I just saw a ninja battle with two rats in broad daylight. That's the other problem. It was 8 a.m. It was not midnight.
Hey, 10. That's I believe you.
Tanner
I was
said,
doing the
true
same
story.
thing. Same situation combined. It's kind of like what Pat just said and what you just said. I thought I was doing something smooth, got Amway out. We walking, walking by Navy Pier, just doing our thing. All of a sudden, she goes, and I'm like, what the heck is you jumping for? Don't be just sitting there jumping randomly like we in Chicago. That means something. All of a sudden, it was just a crowd of rats by the trash can that was climbing the gate. And she was like, they can move that fast? I was like, yeah. But I didn't think those was rats. I thought they was squirrels. She was like, no, those are rats. When it get closer, I was like, yeah, that ain't no furry tail right there. And then they were like literally fighting each other on the gate. Like they're like whoever got to the top of the gate was kicking the other rats down back. And I was just like, wow. And she was like, why are we watching this? We have to go. And I'm
Hey,
like,
they said it
well,
ain't no
realistically,
one-on-one. That's what happened.
they combined it. They're doing an Olympic sport right now. I think they pretty
Hey,
much
dog.
focused on that.
The rat said it ain't no one-on-ones. That's what happened.
Man,
Ain't
listen,
no one-on-ones. We jumping. Ain't no one-on-ones. We jumping out here.
it was
Hey,
a sight to see. But
that's
now
what you
going
get in
back to
Chicago,
integrity,
man.
because Chicago has no integrity. That's why we got so many rat problems, pothole problems. Man, I hit a pothole the other day that I almost lost my soul.
Hey, that's why we live in Chicago. You don't get Nat Geo Wild, you get Nig Geo Wild. It's all good.
Bad man. So back to this integrity issue, right? Does the NFL have an integrity issue? I mean, haven't they always? That's why the Rooney Rule's in place. If you have a organization that is high on integrity, then they treat people equally. They give people a fair shot. That's why the Rooney Rule is there, right? Very well intentioned, very poorly executed.
Yeah.
I do have to make
It's
some
literally
admission
worked for one dude, if you think about it.
for Mike Tomlin, right?
Mike Tomlin. And it legitimately worked for him because like he walked in the building, he was not the favorite to get the job. He gave his viewpoint and they were like, wow, we love this dude. And he's been there ever since. It's the only dude it's worked for.
And he has a predominantly black staff.
Flores did too, though. Flores had a lot of black people in positions too.
Arians does.
That's
Arians
all.
got the most diverse staff in the NFL.
Hey, love it. You know what? You need both. You need those who are not minorities or who don't look like us, rather, who give those opportunities, and you need those who do look like us to provide those opportunities.
Yeah.
Especially. So, that's part of the argument we had yesterday. I do want to apologize to the chat because we had one part of the argument, which was, what did New York do realistically? And did Flores have a point with what New York did? And Flores' entire lawsuit, as Pat brought out, off camera, had a lot more to do with not just New York, but ultimately the hiring practice and things of that nature. What was expected of him as a coach, in his tenure with Miami. A lot of his suit deals with Miami and stuff like that. And so it's a much bigger story that I can see the impact of, right? So I don't want that to be misconstrued on this show, or for it to be said that, I don't want it to just be poor journalism or poor reporting on our
I
part.
don't want it to be that we're talking on. Now, this is the thing too. We're up at 6 a.m. There's a lot of
The
news that
news
comes out
changed
after.
by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of news that came out after. But I did feel like yesterday with the story one, and it's a thing. Listen, I'm gonna put this out here and just be 100% with y'all. There's a lot of times where a story comes across. We read the information on it. We read as much as it can, but we be with our families. I'm not diving into the deepest depths of this story right now to see everything. I'm not skimming it either, but I'm not going. I wasn't reading the 69-page lawsuit. I'm sorry. I'm not that good of a journalist, if you will. I'm not a journalist at all. So there was some stuff that I felt like we missed. There was some stuff I felt like we didn't bring out, but I don't think it took away from the discussion. I think we had really good discussion yesterday. I think we brought out some really good points talking about the Flores situation, and now we've got more stuff that's come out on the Flores situation. And I think that we've had. I think that the dialogue with it, especially, and when I say an integrity issue, I'm more so talking about just with the wins, just with trying to win, just with trying to put yourself in a position to win. Because at the end of the day, like, if you're paying people to lose, and here's the thing, right? They'll never prove this. This is one part of the lawsuit or the argument that'll never be proven, because
Never be proven.
no owner is going to put down, oh, I paid I paid real. What would you have to put that in the ledger as? The loss tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, no owner is gonna put out there that he paid somebody to lose on his books. This is probably a bonus that's worked in at the end of the season. That's just a part of, hey, appreciate you for being here. Here's a bonus for doing, sticking it out with us. Doesn't mean that you're paid for losses. Doesn't mean, and I don't know. I could believe that teams are paying for losses because they're compensating you for putting together a bad resume. They're compensating you for putting together. They're putting you in a position to be better financially because they know these losses mean your career. And for black coaches, they absolutely do. Black coaches historically usually do not get a second bite at the coaching apple. If you're fired from the first place, that's usually what it ends up being. So when Hugh Jackson came out and kind of co-signed what Brian Flores was saying, I could absolutely understand. I could absolutely believe it. But at the same time, it's a tough position to put yourself in. And I would ask, in those situations where you walk into something like that, why wouldn't you leave? Is the job worth it at that point? Because to me at that point, that's a job that ended Hugh Jackson's coaching career. The Browns ended Hugh Jackson's head coaching career.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like, well, one, because you said like you don't think that they'll be able to prove it. I feel like yeah, while it's not gonna be on ledgers or anything like that, I feel like if you did pull it up like in the emails or something like that, I feel like with all the owners and the exclusive club that they talk about them being in, I feel like you won't find them talking about that directly, but it probably was a conversation like, hey, this is the owner for like it's Shad Khan, we tanking this season or something like that, or I'm gonna pay this person to lose games. It gotta be some form of that in some type of email.
It's probably like, I mean, listen, somebody explained it yesterday perfect. They were like, oh, there's got to be something that says something. Like, you never been to a farmer's market?
Nah.
He said, ain't no tax ledgers on this. Ain't no books in the hand. Like there's people that trade tomatoes for cucumbers. Like it's probably a handshake agreement. I would assume. Hey, listen, we're trying to get.
So.
I mean, you came in that first year. They were tanking, by the way, for the guy they got anyway in Tua Tagovailoa because nobody wanted him. So you were tanking hard for Tua. That just sounds wrong. That rolls off the tongue ugly. And you essentially like with Brian Flores is the rare case, if this is a common thing, right? Because Brian Flores tanked for Tua, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he tried to win games and the roster just wasn't good enough. But to me, that's the more egregious part, right? Because in Hugh Jackson's situation, in Brian Flores' situation, in multiple situations, a lot of times we look at it and we say, this is on the GM. You didn't build a good enough roster.
And in all actuality, the owner has pretty much incentivized them to tank. And now,
and so
that's the bigger issue there because careers are on the line, as you mentioned.
Yes.
I mean,
perceptions are totally different. Now we got to look at every team that underperformed and wonder, hey, were they incentivized to be in this position, or did they legitimately just suck? And since you don't know that, how many players' careers were ended? RG3 had an interesting thing. He's like, I was directly impacted by that, if that's true, because we absolutely went 1-15. And they definitely,
and it's about the roster that the GM's putting together. If the owner's telling the GM, no, we want to lose to get this guy,
they cut all the veterans, he said, and they had the most rookies on the starting roster in NFL history. And they performed as such. And if that's the case, then do we look at is RG3's career different if he had an opportunity with a team that cared? I don't know if that's the truth, but I mean, you have to look at
injuries took him out. Injuries took him out.
Washington bought into him. And
Washington did buy into him, but then when they realized he wasn't going to be healthy for a season, that's when you saw, like kids said, they got rid of all the veterans. They started the rebuilding process. But the healthy part is kind of on RG3.
Too, with that, let's not get it misconstrued. He was, because we was just talking about what was he talking about last night in the chat? Kofi Cockburn, I think that's how you say his name. He absolutely thought he was that dude. Yeah, he absolutely thought he was that dude at the time. Because you got to remember that there was 0-6 at the time, ran out 10 straight, made it to the playoffs, and I think they beat somebody and had to play the Seahawks in the divisional. And his line absolutely stopped blocking for him, and he winded up blowing out his knee.
Oh, he was that dude. He got hurt. That happens in football.
Like
he was that dude. He got hurt. Like there was a reason for him to believe that. There was a reason for him to believe he was that dude. He was that dude.
Rookie season was really nice.
It was a really nice rookie
when he got
season,
to Cleveland, though, that's ultimately like if he had a chance to bounce back, it died there. Because he got to Cleveland and they went 1-16.
He was just never able to stay healthy. He was never, his body didn't hold up for him. There was a lot of concussions in his history. You know what I'm saying? He legitimately was the one player that I watched and I was like, he doesn't know how to slide. And he was like 2-3 years into his career. Like he would always try and put his body out there and push through for that little extra. And it'd be like, hey, bro, you weigh 210 pounds. That's not a good life decision for you.
Well, to be fair, I'm talking about RG3 4 years in. He did spend 3 years in Washington, but he spent the year in Cleveland that we all forgot about.
Nah.
And he went 1-6. They went 1-16, 1-15 that season.
He played that whole season?
I don't believe he did.
I don't believe he played
that whole season. I don't even think he came in as the starter there, honestly.
No, he did.
Did he?
No, he did. That I remember.
But yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, that's the hardest part there. In a different industry, in doing my research, in the industry I'm in, financial services, there was a tactic in which the riskier business, they would have a minority oversee that line of business
Yeah.
And if it performed well, they would transfer it under a majority owner, so they got the credit for it. If it was risky business for that majority owner, they would transfer it to a minority. So if it failed, he would get the backlash.
The blame on it.
Realistically, that's nothing different than what we're kind of discussing here.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, it really impacts players more than anyone else, because how often do we sit there and be like, hey, look at this situation, when it was like, hey, they had no real way of developing. They weren't trying to develop them. Their team was in a full-on tank. Like, it really does go to show, like, there's a lot more to this game, and maybe some careers absolutely were railroaded by decisions that had nothing to do with the individual player.
What is the outcome if, and it's a big if, like I said, if was a fifth, we'd all be drinking. It's a big if, half gallon if. They can find evidence to say that they were paying these teams to be bad. The owners were paying coaches to lose, which in a sense is paying the GM to not put together a good team. What is the outcome of this? Our guys looked at differently. Our guys looked at as now coaching candidates again. Our guys, our teams. I mean, at that point, you're talking about integrity of the game. Is there a force sale of teams that could come into play there?
I mean, even then, you got to look at it like they still went along with it. So
yeah, but it's not this. This is the thing,
which kind of makes it hard for me, because it's like, okay, I understand Brian Flores saying like, hey, I'm not gonna do this, because I mean, if you look at it, he has a positive record.
Yeah,
as a coach. Hugh Jackman, Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Wolverine
was coaching the Browns for 4 years. Killed 3 people.
Dang, God. Hugh Jackson, if you look at it, I'll say this, if players come out and say, or if more coaches come out and say like, yo, I was paid to do this, somebody told me to do this, because now you got to think, it was just like what was that on the field a few years back with the Saints, when they were trying to like purposely hurt Brett Favre?
Bountygate.
Yeah, like if somebody came out and be like, hey, miss this, I'll pay you an extra $10K, $20K. If you got players that's coming out saying like, hey, yeah, he not lying about this, I was actually part of this because this person told me X, Y, and Z, then I feel like you got some credence to your argument. But right now, his argument kind of don't hold weight to me, because you still went through with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to me, that's different though, because he could have been complicit simply because he felt like that's what the owner dictated, and that's what the owner wanted, so that's what he needed to go along with. I'm not saying it's right, but at the same time, it's one of those things where if I don't play along with this, I'm going to lose my job anyway. I might as well get paid for it, Exactly. And so that's the hard position that you're in as a black coach who rarely gets those opportunities, because if he didn't go along with it, you know what that owner's going to say? Well, he doesn't play ball. Let's forget it's a fraternity, and we have to stop making it seem these owners are not sitting there being the most upstanding citizens. They're like, oh, hey man, did he just want to win? No, it's like, did he go along with the game plan I had for my organization because I want to do this? That's what you got to realize. This is business, and business is dirty.
Oh no, yeah, somebody
in general is not a wholesome sport. I don't, especially when we talk about ownership, right? It's not a wholesome thing. They have ways and tactics to get what they want, and they're billionaires. You ever heard somebody tell a billionaire no consistently?
Hey, Bruce Wayne did a shady business.
Hey, yeah, the NFL. You know why?
The NFL has
other
rules.
Billionaires that's telling them.
The NFL has rules, and the commissioner enforces those rules, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he still gets paid from those billionaires.
Yeah.
Which is why Roger Goodell gets so much heat, because he does stuff that we like, why would he do that? That makes no sense. You
Right.
think those billionaires that don't pay him no 40 M's don't sit there and dictate those things?
Man, he makes so much
If
money.
he
Dog.
ruffle enough feathers, like, here's the one thing. You're not going to get a bunch of teams or owners forced out of their organizations. That's not going to happen. There's going to be some fines. There's going to be some penalties if it comes out. But you're not going to see a lot of owners. Like, this is not Donald Sterling. You're not going to get a bunch of people forced out.
It'll never be that. But
the NFL will actually give you the two birds and go about their business. The NFL does not do that.
Yeah, no. It wouldn't be a Donald Sterling situation. I think where the question comes in is, could you see teams forced, or could you see an owner forced out because the rest of the business looks at him as an eyesore? The rest of the owners look at him as an eyesore, because if the owners all come together, they absolutely can force you. They can vote you out of the NFL and force you to sell your team. But would it ever get to that? That's the part, because like you said, it is a fraternity. That's why, and that's how the whole Brian Flores lawsuit situation even comes up. Because what do you tell somebody? If I'm sitting in a meeting with the owners and you ask me why I was kicked out, why I left, why did Miami let go of you so swiftly? And my answer to you is because I didn't listen to the owner when he told me to tank. You're not going to get that job.
Hey, and this is all because
they're all in this together.
Because
they're all in this together, whether we like it or not. The NFL is a conglomerate, y'all. It is a bunch of dudes that, for the most part, like each other. Like, there's a couple dudes in there that really don't like each other. You gonna have that. It's a couple dudes that really be like got real beef. Like Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft genuinely got beef.
Really?
Genuinely got beef. Oh yeah, when all that stuff went down, because he sued the NFL. Right? Didn't Robert Kraft sue the NFL? Like when all of the Deflategate and all that stuff was going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what? Jerry Jones was like, man, you ruffling feathers. Robert Kraft was like, I got $1 billion. Jerry Jones was like, I got $1 billion more than you do. But
clearly my billions are working because I'm winning.
That's what he hit him with. He's like, I got $1 billion. He's like, you ain't got no rings recently though. Stop playing with me, my boy. Get up out of here. But
I would love to hear how billionaires fight.
Wallets. They just throw metal cards back and forth at each other.
Nah, it gotta be something different than that. You know what it is? It's like strategic things. Like, I'm a billionaire and I really don't like you. I'm going to buy a property next to your stadium.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah. And I'm going to put something discriminatory, like that really says, like, let's say if I buy something next to the Patriots Stadium, I'm going to buy something, I'm going to paint it like, I don't know. What's the rival for the Patriots? I'm gonna paint it that color and stuff like that, and just to tick you off, or I'm gonna buy I'm gonna have a bunch of people parade around with signs that tell you that you need to get out of town or something like that to make it look like the fan base really hates you or something like that.
Hey, kid. Hey, shout out to Sammy. Sammy said it's real life Monopoly. Like, legitimately, I was literally about to say, like, oh, hold on, Jerry. Yep. Just bought 17 jets to fly over your stadium 3 times a game, once a week. That say "Go Patriots" on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and what if somebody had beef with the Cubs and they bought all those buildings that were outside of Cubs Stadium when they were trying to force them to sell? They just doubled the offers and was like, "Hey, listen, all those rooftops, we own them now. We put whatever we want to up there." That'd have been the coldest thing ever.
That was, fam, I'll tell you this, dog. This is how you know the difference between billionaires and regular people. Like, there's some people that are really destined to just have a lot of money. There's some people that just don't have a mindset for it. When they sold them stadiums, dog, Or when they sold them rooftops, I was like, y'all absolutely should be making a killing on this sailing and flip it immediately into something. And Muggs was sitting there arguing back and forth about it because they didn't want to give up their buildings. I said, you're having conversations with billionaires right now. I'll give up my building. You gonna pay my price? Because you want this more than I do.
Oh, they did basically walk up to him with a blank check.
I know. And you know what they told him? Keep your money. Keep your money?
Are you swinging? Hey, bro.
These are our neighborhoods. You sound dumb. You're fighting
one building sold.
Just let
and
me
they
get
not only
$2
got the
million.
asking price
Let
of
me
the
get
building.
$2 million. That's all
They
I'm
got
asking.
19 years of profit, of projected profit, included in their deal. Because those rooftops would actually sell spots like tickets. The difference is they would give you
sold
like
spots on
unlimited
top.
beer and stuff like that. So it was a really good time. So one of those deals, so reportedly, it could be false, but I remember reading this. They get them 19 years of reported profit plus the cost of the building.
Yeah.
And that particular group should be okay. They should be really okay.
Bro, this the thing.
Oh, plus they get season tickets.
So this the thing.
I believe.
1, you giving me tickets for life to my team. 2, they didn't want to sell because they didn't want to give up the revenue. And it's their house, it's their neighborhoods. I get that part. But you don't want to give up the revenue that the rooftops bring a year. I can't believe they were clearing a M every year. I can't believe that.
They were.
They were clearing an M a year?
Yes.
Hey, the crazy thing is,
I get the argument in that case. Like, if you give me 19 M's, it's like, well, if I live here 19 years, I can get it. That's tough.
But then you got to realize they were also putting up those big signs and they were thinking about expanding the electronics and stuff like that. So one of the threats was, if you don't sell, we're just going to sit there and phase it out anyway, and you won't have any money to generate.
Hey, we're just going to block it.
Because we don't have to allow you to see into the stadium.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it was like, because the ones that they did put up did block the sight lines of a few of those rooftops.
Yeah.
And so that's, that was a big fight over that. It was all right. It was all right. I think it was fair business. If I'm an owner and I see somebody doing those things and making money from it, I would absolutely want a cut of it because it's my product I'm putting on the field that you're benefiting
Well,
from.
they got a cut of it, right? Because they put legit, like, of course there were part of it that was still houses, but they put legit concession stands in them, right?
Yeah, but it's my property. You can't tell me what to put up there.
I believe so.
No, I'm saying the Cubs put legit concession stands inside of the buildings.
And a lot of those rooftops, they converted those into bars. They were legit bars you could go to at any time that would sell rooftop tickets.
Okay. I ain't never been on the rooftop, so I never had a desire to, because I knew on the rooftop you absolutely were not watching the game. Like, you were on the rooftop to kick it.
We did it.
Can I kick it?
Yes, we did it one time, and I would tell you this, the most fun I've ever had is at Cub State, Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville is an experience because whether you're winning or losing, you're there, you're networking, you're chilling. The game is happening, but the real game is all around you. Just people watching and stuff like that. It was more of that thing. Like, you didn't really watch the Cubs, and the Cubs sucked so long. But it was like, yeah, this time I went there, I think this was 2013, 14. I mean, we were rebuilding and stuff like that, but I didn't really know who people were. Like, I knew who they were, obviously, but it was like the identity of the team. It definitely wasn't 2016, right? So, like, all of that was cool. And then even the 2016 thing, the best part outside of the game was all the people. It was a
Yeah.
wild night.
I feel
Wild
like
night.
see, I go to a I'm so weird. No, like I'm not weird. Like it's weird to me that people go to baseball games to not watch the game. Like I've never gone to a sporting event to not watch the sport.
Mm.
No, I gotta
I'm
go to watch it.
I'm
will
going
say
there to watch.
the Brewers game was mad nice. The Brewers
The
stadium
Brewers
is
game was lit.
mad
Muggs couldn't
nice.
believe how invested I was, though. I'm sitting there watching baseball, talking baseball and stuff like that, and Muggs sitting there looking at me like I'm the crazy one.
Nah,
Hey,
you went there to watch the
we
game.
was
That's
sitting
I was
around a
like,
good
I was like,
group
we was
of
sitting
people
around
though.
Muggs that literally were like, "Hey, could you stop yelling?" I was like, "No, I'm at a
Yeah.
game. Like, if you don't shut up,
It
lady."
was like 2 people in front of us and 3 people in the back that was like, we get why y'all here. I was like, okay.
Bro, facts, bro. And guess what? They was all Sox fans. It was Sox versus Brewers. They was all Sox fans. The Brewers fans were like, "Could you keep it down? We're not used to this kind of yelling. We don't scream like this to the Packers games. We just chant quietly." I don't know,
I
dog.
would tell you this.
Hey, J Martin in the
gone
chat.
to-
J Mart went with us. Dog,
it
it was
hot.
so hot.
They should have just
Bro,
opened
it was so hot at that
roof.
game, dog. We
Yeah,
literally
nah.
Like we went in there. We was like, no, we don't need to bring no change clothes.
bro, because all I expected to do was go down there, go to the game, go to sleep, come back home. I'm like, I'm not bringing a change of clothes. I'm just gonna pass out on the couch and come home. Bro,
About a third inning.
it was so
Bro,
it was the hottest baseball game I've ever been to, and I've sat in Comiskey in the middle of July. And I'm talking about old school Comiskey, where it was like no matter where you sat, the sun was right here.
Comiskey, different, dog.
Bro, it was the hottest game I've ever been to. And it was like, I think, didn't they have the roof closed?
Bro, that was the thing. That was the whole thing.
They had the roof closed, so it was like muggy.
Like, bro, why not open up the roof?
So, I mean, if they did open, why not turn on the AC? How about that? Like, if you close the roof.
Bro, no, open the roof and just let the regular air hit so I can get a breeze every now and then. Good Lord. By the way, the Windy City Breeze brought to you by, never mind.
Gang.
But nah, man, it was it was a fun time.
Oh, Mark Jalen said the roof was open.
The roof was open? Shoot, I couldn't tell.
The roof was open? Hey, close it. Whatever it was, do the opposite of that. That was a good time, though, at a minimum. We got to do that again next year, man. I'm going to hit a couple baseball games next year. I'm not bringing my daughter, though. Somebody was like, when are you going to take Aria to her first baseball game? I was like, when she can enjoy it.
Years from now? How about that?
Yeah.
I can take my daughters now because my oldest will like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be like, what's happening? And not really care. We want the hot dogs and stuff like that. But I might take it. I'm absolutely going to take I gotta take them to a football game. For some odd reason, they want to go to a football game. They're going to a football game. They're going to a Bulls game. It's no question.
Bulls game is a must.
I don't know if I'm going to take them to
Bulls game is mad nice. Just please get them like the player intros are elite.
I don't know if I'm gonna take them to a baseball game just because how slow it is.
No, it's quick, dog. No, it's quick when you're there, fam.
I've been to many a baseball games. I've had some that was mad slow.
It's quick.
I don't know. It ain't quick. It's still 3.5 hours.
It's 3.5 hours, and it's a lot of people standing around waiting for a pitch.
The
action is not like basketball by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not like football by any stretch of the imagination.
If you're not like, to me, I'm watching the game different. I'm watching the game trying to see, what defensive rotation they in, what the pitcher's doing, how's he throwing, what's his arm action, what's going on. But I'm watching the game a little different. So I'm focused on it. So I'll look up and I'll be like, man, it's the 5th inning. Also, that game we went to was flying through because there was a pitching duel.
Yeah, until like the 6th inning.
Yeah, it was a pitching duel. So like the first 5 innings, I think, happened in like an hour and 15 minutes. And then it slowed down. But he said baseball is something you got to plan your day around.
Baseball is the perfect game to have a business meeting with because it's so slow. and the action is so sporadic that you can have meaningful conversations in the middle of it. Going to a basketball game, you can still do because I recently just did it. It's cool,
You
especially
just
when
go
your
there
team is
expecting
blowing
not
the
to
other
watch the
team
game.
out. Like when you're blowing the other team out, it's very easy to sit there and get stuff done. But like if you're really invested in it, I definitely go to a baseball game. It's just like golfing.
Yeah.
Deals get done at the golf course, deals get done at the baseball field. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, and since I definitely am going to be making an East Coast trip, I want to go see a Yankees game, to be honest with you.
I was gonna go to one. I actually was in New Jersey when the White Sox were playing the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. And I was like, man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to go see the Yankees. Like, I should definitely go see Sox versus Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Never been to Yankee Stadium. I was gonna pull up. Tickets was mad cheap because the Yankees was losing. Nobody was going. I think it was like $80 for a ticket. And then like I realized everything I was gonna have to do to get from New Jersey to New York. Absolutely killed it. I was like, how do you get to Yankee Stadium from New Jersey if you ain't got no car? It was like, you catch this train, you take this bus, you catch this train, you take this bus, you walk this far, you take this train. I said, hey, I'm going to watch it on TV, dog.
And look, the thing about that is
somebody was like, you missed out on a New York experience. I was like,
by the time you get done doing all of that,
I'm from Chicago.
I do want to do a New York experience, though.
Yo, the thing is, by the time you get done doing all that and you hop off that train, you might actually think the Knicks got a shot to win a championship. Hey, I will say that's the one thing I will say when we went, it's a whole lot of Knicks finna like they really believe they really believe they like that. Like they really believe they like that.
I like it.
Like,
you know what town gives me that kind of confidence when I was walking through? LA. And this was when LA was bad.
You don't like it because doggone you're a clown the mugs. You're like, y'all really think y'all got a shot, huh? Yeah. Julius Randle?
Listen, I would love to get into an argument with a New Yorker on a New York train. As long as we can keep it at a distance, that's cool. But you walk up on me too smooth, guess what?
Hey man,
you might not make that one back.
I'm gonna say
nice
this.
Shout out to you, my dude.
Shout out to Mike
got it right.
Bro, I'm gonna say this.
This what happens when you don't get a right hand.
This is my issue with I for some reason I end up listening to like New York radio the other day.
How the heck did we get on New York radio? I'm not saying anything. We just went this whole little.
We went a long way. We went a long way.
Okay,
hey, that's how the show goes
sometimes,
show. My boy. That's how the show goes. It's the morning show.
Definitely a morning show at this point.
I was listening to New York radio, and I was just like, fam, radio in general. Y'all not trying to get nobody new in there. Y'all not trying to get no young talent in there. Y'all not trying to do none of that. Cause my God,
Christopher Mad Dog Russo,
bro, he went on a rant yesterday, like 2 days ago, maybe Monday.
I think that he was trying to put it together and it didn't put together.
About celebrities that were at the Super Bowl in LA and how they're not real fans because it was Leonard DiCaprio. Leonard DiCaprio.
Leonardo?
I was like,
damn, bro, that's disrespectful.
How you mispronounce the greatest actor of our generation?
Hey, how you got beef with Leonardo DiCaprio for going to a game?
Can we safely say Leo is the greatest actor of our generation?
Probably, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. How do you have beef with that guy?
Denzel's not our generation.
Yeah. All right, Leo.
Denzel was just still making movies in our generation.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Will Smith, maybe.
Denzel,
I wouldn't put either one of them.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't put either one of them against Leo, to be honest with you.
Bro, I'm talking about. Hold up.
Leo's catalog is a lead.
Leo catalog, nice dog. I'm sorry.
Hey, on the Contender side, if y'all got that audio, email me that audio of Mad Dog on that rant, man. I don't know if they got that. I don't know if they can pull that up or not. Dog, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's hilarious. It's legitimately hilarious.
That's the one thing that we haven't had happen. We haven't had a staple rant happen.
No, yeah,
What
we
you mean?
did.
I've
Yeah.
ranted so much on this show.
No,
But it's not one of those
we
rants that
absolutely
like you
did.
can
The last
replay
one
and
we
it's like
had,
classic.
we had was when Pat was talking about Stephen A. and not knowing the Chicago Bulls and him going off on Isaiah Thomas.
Oh yeah, you're right about that
Which
one.
I'm never gonna forget.
That was a good one.
Isaiah, I love you. You trash on NBA TV.
He is trash on NBA TV. He's a trash commentator. He's a Hall of Fame basketball player. He's one of the best point guards to ever touch a basketball. He's bad. He's bad at his job.
Candace Parker is pretty good though.
I was not.
You said what?
Candace Parker is pretty good. I say that because he does shows with Candace.
Yeah,
so
Candace Parker saves him.
In contrast, it does pretty good. I didn't turn up on anybody yesterday. We were just having a passionate conversation.
You did turn up on
Cornelius. Did I really? He was passionate about what he was saying. I was passionate about mine. We broke bread evenly. It was amicable. We left it alone.
That man with hey yo, watch yourself. I said that's 90s right there. I said that's 90s right there. You only fam, and that was funny yesterday.
Because J-Bar definitely put it on Twitter. I was like, no, dog, it wasn't nothing like that. It's all love. We're passionate about the conversation. We both have our opinions. It's all love, Cornelius.
Hey, this is my beef with Muggs. It's my thing. This is my beef with Muggs that want to talk about my teams and they not watching. At least talk intelligently. At least talk intelligently. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he punching the air about the Knicks though.
Cause that mug, Isaiah Thomas, at least talk intelligently about the sport you play. That mug said, we really haven't had an international player win it all like that. And everybody was like, man, he just forgot about Dirk. He forgot about Dirk. And I was like, he forgot about the black dude from Greece last year.
not even that. Manu.
Hey, look, I get he's black, so we just forget he's not from here, but he barely speak English.
Hey, you can barely pronounce his name.
Stop playing.
I will say, showing up to a post-game press conference with a bucket of chicken is mad black though.
Listen, you can still be black and not be.
Hakeem ain't from here either.
He forgot about Hakeem. He beat you.
Hakeem ain't from here either, dog.
Hey, it was a reason why he didn't want to run Hakeem down.
Hakeem got 2 in a row though.
I couldn't, bro.
And he was never the favorite. That man was like the 5th or 4th seed each time. Yo, realistically, history does repeat itself. Can you believe that if Joel Embiid pulls it off, it would be the closest thing to Hakeem that we've seen?
If Joel Embiid pulled it off, it would be the closest thing to Hakeem that we've seen as far as what? A big man
if he was to win the chip this year. Not saying he is, but hypothetically,
Are you
if he was to
talking
win
about
the chip this year, it would be the closest thing to Hakeem we've seen.
Are you talking about in terms of the team around him?
The team, him,
yeah, then I'll say that.
How dominant he is. You really can't stop him. It's the close. It would be the closest thing to an Hakeem thing. He's not the favorite. He's not rolling in there saying he's the favorite. You know, what else could you really say? It would just be a lot of similarities between it. I'm not saying that he's Hakeem by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's one of those things. It's like, hey, you know, Joel Embiid started playing ball late as well. Like the storylines kind of add up. Now he didn't have the immense poverty and everything. I don't believe. I don't want to tell his story. I don't know it.
Shout out to Luol Deng for finding him.
Yeah, you know.
Shout out to Luol Deng.
I think he was playing soccer before, wasn't he?
He was playing goalie. Luol was like, what are you doing?
You know? So for someone to go from, hey, I'm just not picking up a basketball to being one of the best in the world, if not one of the best in the world for sure, but to be amongst the elite in the NBA is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. that's another conversation we have to have. Why does it seem like those players have more work ethic than American-born players?
I can't say that because I question Andrew Wiggins' work ethic for years.
Well, he's Canadian.
Man.
Hey, he's
So was
Canadian for
Steve
one.
Nash.
Well, Steve Nash was Canadian, but I mean, I can visit. Like, I could drive to Canada right now in about 4 hours. Like, that's not. He's Canadian, right? Right. He's the nicer side of the U.S. You know what I'm saying?
Just not
If
gonna
I
give
bump
him
into
no
him, he's
credit
not
with
going to say, "Hey man, get out of my way." He's going to be like, "Hey, pardon me." Like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
it.
Canadian.
I'm
So
walking in.
you know, hey. Because Eastern Europe is the hood, and what you think is the hood is not what you think what they think is the hood. I'm gonna tell you this though. In my travels, the hood in other places compared to our hood, I felt sad. I saw a house on crates on one of my vacations. Now, why did I'm that weird guy. I get in
What?
there and I take the local
Yeah.
tours.
No, you are.
I am. I don't care. I
You
take a
are.
local tour, right? Like when I get off or I land, I'm like, hey, where do the real people hang out at? Because I don't want to be here in this tourist section because that y'all gonna give me this overpriced food, all this stuff. I
Yeah.
want to be where y'all hang out at. And it's like, you sure? Yeah. What the heck? Might as well. I ain't got no money. You steal from me, you're gonna be upset. Anyway, so I go out. Hey, you gonna be upset. Like, hey, you see what's going on here. I know what this look like. I know what check it out. I know what a check it out is in every different language. Trust me, I got that spidey sense. We from
Yeah.
Chicago. You can make it anywhere. I don't care what nobody say. Hey, anyway, so I do that, and they take us to these spots, and they be like, "Yeah, these people, you know, the people be won money and stuff like that." So I always keep a little cash for that. But then they take you into like the real neighborhoods they live in. I saw a house on crates. Like the foundation of the house was on crates. I was like, wow. That roof, there was no roof. Realistically, it was like those tarps or poly, like the construction grade poly that you put up for containments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was no roof. I was like, what happens when it rains? They was like, they try to nail it down on the sides and they try to layer it so the water just rolls off. But a lot of times the water just comes through and they have these pots there and they just keep emptying the pots and stuff like that. And I was like, dog, I've never seen, and they're not considered homeless. They're not homeless. A lot of them are not even considered poor. Homeless is you don't have the tarp to put over your home or the foundation on the crate.
Yeah.
So the level of poverty in some of these areas that we be going spending big money in is just wild.
Yeah.
I couldn't do Honduras. Beautiful spots. But they was charging like $11 no. They were charging, y'all know the small cans of formula. They like $11 here.
Yeah.
It was like $30 there. And the dates was all expired on them. Like when we went to the supermarkets, like all the dates on this stuff was was like mad expired.
Yeah, because can't
And
nobody
I was
buy
just
it.
like, yo, they are struggling to live and survive, and just to get necessities, they're paying a premium for stuff that's expired. This is stuff that we would charge maybe $2-3 for if you could legally sell it because it's expired.
Yeah.
It was just sad, man. It was just sad to go to some of these spots that we consider exotic and stuff like that and realize that those people there really they don't have it good. It's just the level of poverty is so I say all that to say, you're right. We don't know what poverty look like. We don't know what real poverty look like here by any stretch of the imagination.
I
And
think it depends on where you go here. We got some spots that's pretty bad. Like you might feel like it's not but we don't go there.
dog.
Because it's here. You know what I'm saying?
It's
I
a reason why
say
they tell you not to go to certain blocks.
yeah, I can't say that every spot is the same. I'm not saying like in Chicago specifically, but I think that all over the world there's that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It was
all
a dude.
relative.
I seen a dude in Africa yesterday. Somebody was trying to roast him, saying, "Do you even have clean water to drink?" He was like, "Actually, we do have clean water, and we have a lot of things to drink. Comes in this nice bag. You just bite it and take a drink. It's great. But you probably should worry about the parts of America that don't have clean water to drink." And it was just like, there are parts of America that don't have clean water to drink. That is a fact, and that is a shame. There are absolutely levels to poverty.
There's absolutely levels to
There's
it.
levels to poverty. So I mean you hate to see it either way, man. But that's how I felt when I went to the DR.
Dog, I didn't even go to. I hear about it. I haven't been to
When
the
I
DR
went to
yet.
the DR, it was like rich
Yeah,
resort
my pops went
area,
to the DR, yeah.
poor. I was like, dog, I don't want to. I told Maya, I was like, I don't really want to go to these exotic places. She was like, why? I was like, because it's fake.
Dubai is supposedly fake.
It's fake.
Like
It's
how
not
they
real.
treat people and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and stuff. Like the tourists and stuff, they get all that. It was built for that, but it's a very, very is a very ugly side to Dubai, and it has nothing to do with models getting defecated on. Like it has everything to do with just how they treat their citizens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even to the point that the wealth that you see is almost a facade.
I'd agree with that.
Like people go there and you can make a whole lot of money and stuff like that, but in all retrospect, like when I priced out a trip to Dubai, and I thought I was going to be spending like a grip, it was a lot cheaper than I thought it was, and I was like, huh.
Getting there is the most expensive part.
Even the tickets was the most expensive part, but
Tickets to get there is the most expensive part.
Comparatively, the tickets to go to Dubai were cheaper than the tickets to go to Paris.
Yeah,
and I was like, Paris is a pretty frequented place, you know, like
Paris is also stupid expensive when you get there, though.
I mean, well, yeah.
Hey, that's the difference. Some of these spots you go there and it's expensive when you get it while you going there. Some of these spots you go there and it's expensive when you get there.
Vegas was mad disappointing, Cornelius. I'm not gonna lie to you. My first time in Vegas.
Vegas is the strip and nothing else.
I went to Vegas and I was expecting it to be more than what I thought. I'll tell you the truth. You know who I felt bad for? The girls that have the wings that walk around the strip naked. I felt bad for them.
I ain't see that when I was in Vegas.
If you're on the strip and the weather is
right
good,
on the strip.
Those are the ones that like come take a picture and welcome to Vegas and stuff like that. They're really just dressed in like lingerie.
They're not naked.
Dog, listen, I'm trying to tell you.
Yo,
hey,
I was walking. We finished a meeting. I was out there. I had given my talk. I'd given my talk. We was walking on the strip, and it was just this Russian chick who was like, you could tell she had at least been a pro athlete at one time. She had to be. She was just tall there, and it was like, what did she have on? Looked like nothing was there. Anyway, she just in a thick, heavy accent. Well, come take a picture with me. Come take me. I'm like, I don't really want to. Like, you look good from afar. Like, don't. Like, I don't know. I just felt bad because it was just like they were like trying to hustle pictures half dressed. It was just like, that ain't attractive. Like, that's worse than you asking for $40. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just felt weird. I don't know how to say it, dog. It felt weird. That's what
buddy did to me down in the DR.
And they do it every corner. It was like, dog, don't y'all got morals? Don't y'all want, like, I'm talking about morals and sense. like, why are you bothering me? Like, and then it was the same set that kept bothering me every time I walked the strip. I'm like, leave me alone. Like,
oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Hey man, let's get. We've gone so far. I don't know when the last time we talked about sports was.
Hey, dog, 54 people rocking with us in the morning. Hey, listen, here's the thing. From this hour of 6 to 7, you could get away with talking about anything. You want to know why? Because everyone's probably getting dressed, wanting something mind-numbing going on in the background that they can kind of laugh to. But then at a certain point, you absolutely have to talk about sports. Like from 7:30 to 9, if you're not
Yeah.
talking about sports, you are not doing your job. But before then, it's kind of open range. I
free
mean,
game.
that's how I
Free
feel.
game. It's free game. I say this. A lot of people tuned in for our conversation yesterday. And we did that first thing in the morning, so it was really dope to see.
I hope y'all see
Nah.
that this is range, because guess what? We're absolutely I'm having a ball right now. I don't know
Oh, it's a
about you
great
all.
time, dog. It's a great time.
Man,
That's
it's
why I
just
said I
funny,
don't want
bro.
the morning show to be, oh, we have to talk about this topic and then this topic and then this topic and then here's an ad and then this topic. Although if y'all want to throw an ad in here, come on now.
Crit.
Crit said my black's up this early. It must be interesting. No, man, if y'all enjoying the content, man, we got 54 in here. We got 25 likes. Let's at least get it up to 50 likes, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do this every morning, 5 to 9. Shout out to Jared in the chat. Shout out Cornelius in the building. Mitchell's in the building. He said he's skipping class right now. Because the roads are bad. I thought just for the show, dog. Shout out to Kim G in the building. I was like, don't skip class for the show, my boy.
Not for the show.
Not for the show. Shout out to Shay in the building, man. Let's get to this whole Jim Harbaugh thing. Which I think ties in to what kind of our first conversation was. Jim Harbaugh goes to Minnesota, flies in, flew out like an Instagram girl. Has to have the meeting. Does not leave with a job offer. Tells Michigan he's returning. My personal opinion. This could be true. This could not be true. My personal opinion. I think for Jim to even take this meeting, he thought he was coming there with the mindset of I'm Jim. It's already my job. I'm Jim Harbaugh. I'm not coming here to sit down for an interview. I'm coming here to sit down to sign this contract. Because him and the GM have a prior relationship already going back to San Francisco.
Okay.
Him and the GM already have that prior relationship. GM loves him, brings him in. I think with everything happening with Brian Flores, with all of the lawsuits happening, all the questions of integrity, everything that's coming in with the coaching searches and stuff like that. And they already did their minority searches. They had I believe they had Flores in there. I believe they had I know they didn't have Frazier. I believe they had Caldwell in there as well and a couple other guys. But I think Jim Harbaugh came in with the mindset of I'm going to get this job no matter what. And the owners in them were like, nah, dog, you got to sit down for this interview. And in the interview process, I mean, anything can go wrong during the interview process. You can stretch at the wrong time. You can cough at the wrong time. All the stuff. These are billionaires. They're very finicky people, I'm assuming. So to me, it seems like because all we kept hearing was Jim Harbaugh has the job. It's Jim's job if he wanted. If Jim doesn't want the job, then you might see him back in Michigan. But he's letting Michigan know he's leaving. And then all of a sudden, hey, I'm back, baby.
Jim wanted to. I agree with you. It does seem like Jim wanted to walk in and be offered a gig that he absolutely has to prove that he's ready for. Here's the thing. When's the last time he coached in the NFL?
2014, 15? Something like that. We can double check that.
How much did he ask for again?
I mean,
did they drop that? Did they drop the contract number? How much he was looking for?
Yeah, I don't. Well, possibly. I mean, I don't think this guy
was he really asking for 100 M's.
I mean, listen, he making I gotta understand he making dumb money at Michigan.
But I mean,
I'm not gonna come back to the NFL and make less.
Okay, let's look at it. Would you say dumb money? What's dumb money to you for a coach?
For a college coach, he's making stupid money at Michigan. What's he making? He's making like 70 million over 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, it boils down to about 8 million, 4 to 8 million a year. He has a lot of incentive-related things.
Yeah.
But like Mike Davidson said, I just saw it too. Michigan cut his pay.
Oh, Michigan cut his pay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that. So his last coaching career, 2014. 13-3, 11-4, 12-4, 8-8. 3 of those seasons, he's in the NFC Championship.
Michigan makes a competitive offer. I don't know. Here's the thing.
I know when he signed, it was dumb money for a coach. He was
when he first signed, it was stupid money.
Yeah, when he first signed at Michigan, it was dumb money for a coach. I don't know how they've changed it. I don't know. But he wanted $100 million over 10 years. That's $10 million a year for a coach. That's not crazy money. 10 years is crazy. 10 years is crazy. But you know what? Like, why wouldn't Jim think he could get that job? He's Jim. He walked into the room. He's been to 3 NFC championships. Jim's got a better resume than most coaches that are actively coaching. But I think with everything that's happening right now, and with how it changed everything with how the process went. I think that the process itself changed. I think that it was going to be a come in, wink and a nod deal. We're going to sign you. Here you go. You're in the building. You're our guy. Until all this mess came out, now I think owners are a little on edge. Now we got to do our due diligence. We got to make sure, what's going on with this. We don't know what they asked him in that meeting, but I think that the meeting itself had to come attached with some things that they said, no, we can't bring this guy in as our guy because we know the GM wanted it.
I'm gonna tell y'all this.
So the ESPN article, before you continue, the ESPN article stated that he went, the GM picked him up with the intention. He thought he was going to get the job. He told Michigan, he told his players, like, yo, this is basically what it is. I'm dipping. When the GM and Jim Harbaugh got there, that they were planning to interview him and O'Connell, but since he dipped, that's the reason why O'Connell's going to get the job.
Dog, I'm not trusting none of these reports because they literally are sitting there saying that he may take the job, may not.
No,
There's reports as soon as 5 hours ago they're saying that he still may take the job. I'm cool. This is kind of like worse than a Tom Brady retiring. No, he ain't retiring just for him to officially retire. I'm gonna let it play out.
No, he already told Michigan he coming back.
He did.
It says sources say that he told them. I don't see nothing. Like when Michigan put up a thing that said we welcome back. What's the name? Guess what? Then I believe it. At this point, I don't know.
I'm just going
off of the article. Shefty been a little shifty on a reporting lately, and it's probably not his fault. I mean, things are different now, right? You're not the gatekeeper to information anymore.
Well, we know this is the thing. Minnesota was the one job that was interviewing him. We know that their offer's off the table for him.
Okay, so O'Connell is officially so Vikings move forward then.
O'Connell is going to be the name that's going to be there, which is another one where, again, the question marks come in. Like I understand the relationships, I understand all of that, but O'Connell instantly, it's never called plays.
But I wonder what happened because it's saying that
it's saying expected to hire.
Expected to hire.
Says
well, they were the 2 finalists for the job.
He says,
but until they say that they've officially done it, I'm not believing nothing.
He said Jim Harbaugh was Adolfo Mensa's top choice for the job.
Hey, the thing I love about Kid is like Shefty will tweet and he'll be like, I don't trust Shefty. Shefty been wrong. But he'll absolutely send me an article from like Bulls Nation Report. And I'll be like, who the fuck are these guys?
Bro, listen.
He'd be like, hey, it'll be an article that's like, Kobe White on the trade block. AK says he's done. I'd be like, who's the sources?
Oh, that's a perfect segue to the segment I want to get to.
Adam Schefter.
Hey, listen, I got smoke for all you people in the chat. I'm telling you right now, if you sitting there trying to tell me we get Dennis Schroeder in Chicago, if that's real, and you think Kobe White gonna be in there getting minutes, guess what? I think that's just a waste of space. It's a waste of time. But you go ahead and believe what you want.
Wasn't no source on that report at all.
Hey, listen.
Hey, shout out to Baki. Baki always coming through with the good tags
Dog,
and stuff
Baki
like
hit
that.
like 80% of the time. Baki's a true statistician at this point.
Yeah,
I trust Baki more than I trust Adam Schefter. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I'm talking about that mug said reports say. What reports? Ain't nobody reported this. I'm looking all over the internet for a reporter that reported this.
Hey Pat, that man.
Look at that. Baki comes. I said, I need to see Michigan tweeted. He gonna like, I just tweeted you to tweet. Guess what? That's what I'm talking about. My man come through 80% of the time.
Baki definitely always coming through.
Pat,
I said 80% of the time because he'd be like,
that man kid was like, man, Shefty botched Brady one time. I can't trust him or Woj. I don't even know what Woj got to do with the situation. You can't botch Brady reliable.
You botch it. Now he eventually retired. So I mean, I guess they were right.
Nah, he did.
They botched it.
It was they didn't botch it. They just I think Brady sent his dad. I think Brady sent his dad to send the media in disarray. I think that Shefty jumped the gun on what Brady wanted to do to get the story out there and be the first to report it. Which is what happens sometimes. I mean, it is what it is. It's 2022. Like you're not hiding stuff.
So Brady retires. Vikings hiring O'Connell. I can hear myself a little bit, Pat. All that being said, who the heck is O'Connell?
He is a dude that stood next to Sean McVay.
Okay, he stood next to him. All right. That being said, let's
he's technically their, what is he? Is he their OC? He's their OC. He don't call plays.
Watch the pivot. So now some coaches' jobs are opening up. It seems like Flores is still interviewing for the Saints, which is, I hope he gets it. I really do.
I don't know. Did he interview yesterday? He was supposed to go in yesterday.
Well, he should have interviewed. He better not be up here raising hell about lawsuits, and he still got an opportunity to get a job.
I don't know if the Saints kept the job or the interview on the table is what I'm asking.
They can't take the interview off the table. You know how bad that would look?
You can cancel an interview.
You can't cancel that interview. That's worse than George getting up there talking about calling Olin Kreutz a liar. Like
that was another one, dog. I want to know who wrote that story. It's some of these. Listen, I love the fan side of things. I love it. But dog, who wrote that story? It's like Ted told George this. How do you know?
Well, I would say this. It was very clear that he made an about face in his actions. That is clear. It's clear that he got more assertive than he's ever been. So
I think that's also Polian coming in the building, just like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah,
because George was gonna keep pace. Bill Polian was like, "Hey, Bill Polian was like, who you think you finna get in here with him here?"
How's he doing interviews for the teams he's suing? Now, here's the thing. The teams he is suing, he's not suing 32 teams. He is suing the NFL, true.
The entity. So it does include all the teams, but it's also specific
to those 3 teams.
Yeah.
So with
which
that
the
being
the Denver one, I'll say this. I expect common courtesy from an owner and a GM that I would hope that you can be on time to an interview. Because his report is that they showed up an hour and a half late to the interview.
And he pretty much felt like he didn't really have a real shot.
If I'm expected to show up to the interview and be on time, and it would absolutely kill my job to be there, I would expect y'all to show up and be on time. But as far as John Elway coming in looking hungover and disheveled, while he could have absolutely been hungover and disheveled, I've seen John Elway for a long time. That's
He
really
always
his
looks like
face.
that.
He always looked hungover and
Yo,
disheveled.
I can't with y'all. I can't with.
Hey, bro, when he said that, I was like, that's just John Elway face.
Are Broncos really being sold?
Yeah, Broncos are being sold.
Yeah.
Broncos are being sold. Baki said they were drunk. I don't know. Like, unless he came in smelling like hen dog, like.
Hey, I mean, he do got the face where it's just like.
He just looked drunk all the time. Won a Super Bowl, looked drunk.
The Broncos will be up for sale. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Your boy's working on some things.
You putting in an offer on the Broncos?
If
hey,
you get where I'm going with this.
Let's do it.
If we're here 15 years, I'm going to own a franchise. I am going to own an NFL franchise.
You know what's crazy? I'm going to own. I'm gonna work my way up. Because there's absolutely these smaller franchises that are up for sale that have major stadiums. And Muggs ain't doing nothing but making easy money off of it.
Dog, check your Twitter. That bet not be real.
Hold on, let's see.
Hold on, what's going on?
CBS Sports NBA reports.
Bet not be real.
This is from last night. 76ers would trade Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal, but won't include Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle per report. I doubt that's real. Simmons don't even feel confident that somebody gonna trade him.
Man, they're not gonna do that.
Dog.
Ben Simmons don't even feel confident that somebody gonna trade him.
Here's the thing. If you're Philly, you're absolutely trading him.
Yeah.
If you're Washington, knowing that Bradley Beal really may not come back, you're absolutely trading him. Like, there's one of those situations where Bradley Beal been faithful and loyal to you. He getting frustrated. You like, hey, I'm Washington. I can't do much about him. I got to get something. Ben Simmons is still under contract. I could keep him long term. If he's going to play, Ben Simmons is absolutely a top 20 player in the NBA without a jump shot. I want you to understand that. He's a top 20 player in the NBA. He's also been in the running for defensive player of the year. So at this point, when we've never said that he can't play, he's naturally talented. He can play. He just has a crybaby attitude about him.
Yeah.
Cool. And won't work on his game. But the boy can play when he's playing and decides to play. All right. Here's what I told you. Be careful of Philly. Be mindful of Philly. If that was to actually work out, dog, that's going to be real tough for me to sit there and say, like, Joel Embiid ain't never had a guard like that. And Bradley Beal ain't never had a center like that.
Fam, we've been saying it's going to be tough if they get this trade done for weeks. It's not going to.
No, the only thing you worried about is the fact that you won't be in the playoffs to battle us because Philly will take your spot. If Philly makes that trade, guess what? I am absolutely not worried about Miami.
Focus on the fact we beat y'all twice. Until y'all do that,
we beat y'all twice. You still looking up. Anyway, still looking up. Anyway, check this out.
My head looks real nice.
I'm gonna own a franchise in 15 years. You know why? I'm in an industry that will allow me to do it. I am.
Oh,
I am.
I mean, I ain't mad at you.
But in all seriousness though, like we
so long as you hey, listen, this is all I'm gonna say.
Why not? Why can't we?
Who said we can't? This is all I'm gonna say though. As long as we
could get a conglomerate of people, it ain't gonna be like P Kid got.
As long as we never look like that, like come on, dog. Like he always, like he gotta be hungover right there. Or is it just his face? I don't know.
He just look confused.
He got the leather face thing going on.
He got the leather face thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's always looked like that though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the one part. It's like he came over, hungover, and disheveled. And I'm just like, that's just John Elway, though, ain't it? Though, like, like, ain't that just John?
Now,
Elway?
here's the
like,
thing:
I'm confused.
if you've ever been on an interview, you show up on time and stuff like that. The interviewer is late. You do get a bad sense of where this interview is going to go. So I absolutely understand what he's talking about. I absolutely get where he's coming from. To include them as to have though to say that they were unprofessional is one thing. To say that they were being racist is another. I mean, that team is obviously in a whole state of flux. They about to get sold, for God's sake.
But
Uh,
I get why he's including them, because you brought me, like, this whole thing is about bringing in
it's
minorities
the
for
Rudy rule.
interview
Yeah,
that don't have a real shot. You know what I'm saying? But we're bringing in guys that really don't have a shot at this job at any point. And I get what he's trying to do. Now the sad part about it is
he's not gonna win that lawsuit.
he'll probably never coach again.
I think he'll coach again.
I would be surprised.
I
Oh, that's
think
what I
he'll
was
coach
looking up.
again because he does have a legitimate gripe. Because realistically,
I'll say this:
He
he's
he
really
not.
targeting
It's
the
not gonna
rule.
be in the NFL.
there are two people that has sued the NFL. Well, two, I shouldn't say people. There are two people, one person that has sued the NFL. That is one. He was the owner. And the other one was the city of St. Louis. On the other side of things, you're a billionaire. I can sue you and still be good. Even if I lose this, I'm letting you know I'm pissed off right now. We going to war over this. He wins. The city of St. Louis sued him
For the Rams, right?
for the Rams. They won.
Mhm.
Guess what? St. Louis will never get again.
They'll never get a football team.
They will never get a football team again. They will never see an NFL team. You better see what's going on in the USFL. And the NFL is such a big entity, it might block you from getting that kind of team. Just on some petty stuff. Like they will never see professional football in their city again. And that's the cost of winning a lawsuit. In a lot of cases, even just putting a lawsuit in against the NFL. There's a lot of people that have lost those lawsuits that they put in against the NFL, and guess what? They have never been a part of an NFL franchise again.
Unfortunately, you can sue him for retaliation because it's like, not only did I have a legitimate gripe and I sued you and I won,
Yeah.
but now it's like you're blackballing me and I'm absolutely the most qualified. So it's like, it's one of those things where I'm gonna say this. Do we need a changing of the guard? Yes. Do we need to be a whole new wave of black owners? No, does not have to be a whole new wave of black owners. And in fact,
was
black
Diddy? I was trying to remember this yesterday.
Hey,
Wasn't Diddy blocked out from buying an NFL franchise?
It's two teams.
That's a good question.
Steph Curry was trying to buy the Panthers.
They all were in it together.
The conglomerate was trying to buy.
It's a conglomerate, but the face of it is Steph. Just like with the Dodgers, the face of it is Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
So but Diddy was in on that, wasn't he? Weren't they all in on trying to buy the Panthers?
I mean, well, he guess what? Buy Denver.
Oh, I'm with it.
Nothing's stopping them from doing it.
Well, no, I think I don't know what ended up happening. Of course, they can pick who they want to sell to. But I think how Diddy was explaining it, they were blocked out from getting the team based on reasons that weren't factual. Like that. I think they said like they didn't have the right setup for the group, or they didn't have something. I don't remember the details of it, but something
Diddy.
crazy happened there where where Diddy was like, "We had the money. Like, you can't tell me I don't have the money. I got the money to buy the team."
It's a couple things that they needed to do, but I will say this: it's possible. You got to look at, I know it's a different sport, but Jeter and that conglomerate buying into that baseball team.
Yeah,
that was a conglomerate backed by Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan owns a basketball team, right? So stuff like that is possible. You do have to have the right things in place. I honestly feel like it would probably be a pro athlete who's made I could see LeBron owning a team. I think Kobe would have owned a team. Just because he would have had not only the knowledge, the right people around him and stuff like that, and it would have been a good representation of ownership. I think they don't want. I'm not saying this to be true. I don't know, but if you really look at it, would you rather have P Diddy owning a team, or would you rather have a Kobe Bryant and LeBron owning a team? Especially if it's a sport, let's say NBA team, but sports team in general, you would want someone who garners the respect as a sports player or someone of that pedigree. Like everyone who is ownership are those who are well accomplished as blacks, as athletes that own a team.
I just want them to have, and I don't know if there's an
I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that
I get you. I get you. I think the NBA is different. I think the NBA is more willing to sell to the greatest players of all time than the NFL is, because in the NFL we've seen clearly that they look at y'all as the little black players that y'all go ahead and y'all run around the field and y'all get the job done.
I'm so mad we never got to see Kobe on a team.
I think Kobe would have owned. Kobe probably would have ended up trying to buy the Lakers from the Buses.
Nah, that's something I'd give Magic.
Nah, and they absolutely would have given him the blessing.
I don't think Magic wanted.
No,
because I feel like Magic owned the Dodgers. Magic got a World Series.
Because Magic is like, bro, I already got too much stuff going on. Plus,
yeah, I don't think Magic.
Y'all don't understand. I want to. Yeah. I wanted to see the Kobe versus Mike as owners.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see that chess match. Now I
know who Kobe would have bought. Kobe would have bought Philly.
I have to deal with Mike versus LeBron, which I'm not mad at. Like I'm
Kobe
not
would have
mad
bought
at
Philly.
I think LeBron would be
first of all, Kobe would have watched Mike.
Yeah.
Kobe would have watched Mike anyway because Mike is only good because of LaMelo.
Mike is only good because what?
Mike is legitimately only good right now because of LaMelo.
Well,
Mitch Kupchak put the other pieces around him.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. He an owner. You hire a GM.
But you know how long you've been owning that team? I guarantee you right now, Kobe would make 2 moves.
Yeah, because Kobe would have looked at Mike and been like, hey, I'm not going to do it that way. Like, Mike was running the team. Mike was drafting people.
Yeah, Mike didn't. Mike
couldn't identify talent. Mike couldn't figure out why. Mike couldn't figure out why dudes from North Carolina didn't play like him.
I think Kobe would be very good at player development.
Yeah.
Kobe's like really took that to the next level. Mike came from a generation where we did that ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mike is cut from a different cloth. He's not a good coach by any means. And he doesn't have like the coaching camps that Mike does have, everyone would tell you is very hard-nosed and rigid. But anytime you've seen tape on Kobe's coaching camps and stuff like that, he really does take a different approach to it because he wants people to grasp the concept. He really is like that. That was his gift. It really was. So he would have a different approach to it. But owning a team is hard. Like you look at Mark Cuban with all the Mark Cuban is legitimately a billionaire walking into that situation, buys a team, has all the money in the world, very brazen thing, trailblazing in a lot of respects. Yeah. Look how long it took him to build that team. Like, yeah, he bought it in 2000. They were in the 2006 finals, but like he didn't win to 2011, and he was blessed with one of the greatest players to greatest power force who've ever played. Like a lot of chips fell in place for him as a recent owner for him to have that success. Michael Jordan didn't have that. He bought Charlotte. No one was going to Charlotte. Charlotte is not a major market. Charlotte is not Dallas by any stretch of the imagination.
Cut your mic down a little bit, Ringo. Or cut the volume down on the computer a little bit, Ringo. You good, kid. It's just echoing off Ringo computer a little bit. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
you good now?
Yeah, you good. I think that Kobe would have owned a.
It would have been a WNBA team first.
I think Kobe would have bought Philly.
I think it'll be a WNBA team first.
Kobe would have had so much impact though, from an NBA standpoint, bringing an WNBA to a major market, or at least adding so much more to it because of his daughters and them wanting to play and stuff like that. I think Kobe would have taken the LeVar Ball approach to a whole different level with the WNBA.
His daughters would have brought the attention.
God.
His daughters would have brought the attention because his daughters would have been it would have been go watch Kobe's kids.
All right, that's an emotional topic. We got.
I just want the WNBA to get right as a whole, man. It's just.
It's gonna take time. Mugs want it to happen overnight. It's not gonna happen overnight.
I mean, I know it's not gonna happen overnight.
Y'all can't listen. I'm sorry. I want the WNBA to be paid like the NBA is playing. I want
it's not even about the bread for me though.
I want them to
be
like
paid more, but I mean, let's be honest. The coaches shouldn't be getting paid more than like Becky Hammond should be making an M, while the max contract.
While the players are not.
Players.
I agree with that.
That's stupid. That was. So
I agree
bad.
with that.
That was so bad.
I 100% agree with that. But the problem to me is that the WNBA is trying to bring names to it that are bigger than the names that they've had. Candace Parker's on her way out. And I think you're building. See, this is the thing, right? You have to build it in cities to me that it can be the focus. You have to find a way to get players in cities where it can be the focus. So the WNBA almost has to do the inverse, right? In LA, there's too much to watch. Chicago, there's too much to watch. New York, there's too much to watch. Probably not taking my time out if I'm the average person to sit down and watch a WNBA game in the middle of summer. I can go watch the Yankees. I can go watch the Mets. I can go watch, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of stuff on. And I think that that's what hurts the WNBA because they're in these markets, which you have to be in, but your best players are also there. The people that are going to be watched most are also there. The biggest thing the Sky had, the reason the Sky were watched, and I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want, even with Candace Parker, those stadiums weren't filled all year. Y'all State Arena wasn't jam-packed all year. You have to figure out how to get people into the building.
Wintrust, right?
LA supported those.
Wintrust, my bad. Wintrust, my bad.
How you good, bro?
LA supported the Sparks. For real, they did.
LA supports the Sparks at the same time the Chicago supported the Sky. You know what I'm saying?
And then
when the playoffs came, that stadium was filled.
Didn't Magic own the Sparks by the time that
Magic on the Sparks? I think he still does. But when the playoffs came, that stadium was full. You got to figure out how to get your regular season that way. You got to find, and the thing is, you can't do it the same way that everybody else has done it. You've got to find a way to do it in the new wave, do it maybe in the meta, do it in whatever's coming. Because if you're a basketball fan, WNBA is entertaining. There's a lot of muds in there with handles. But to me, it's like 90s and 80s basketball.
It is like 90s and 80s basketball.
It's just not there yet. And guess what? Michael Jordan wasn't making stupid money at that point.
Michael Jordan's first contract was peanuts. I keep trying to tell y'all that. It was like less than $1 million for 10 years.
So it's like watching the finals. You saw legitimately, I would say, 7 players between both teams that I was like, no, they're actually like really gifted basketball players. And you saw a bunch of mugs on them teams that I was like, maybe a little cocky to say, but I feel like I could hoop her up. Like it's some women like Diamond DeShields. I can't hold that. I can't do nothing with that. She's a hooper. I've watched her hoop. She is a hooper. She can hoop with men. She can hoop with women. She can hoop anyway. She's a hooper as long as she play her game. Some of them chicks in the WNBA, I'm like, you on the roster.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is a hard statement to make. But I'm going to make it. And I'm going to try to do it as politically correct as I can. A lot of the women, like you just mentioned, they're just on the roster.
Diamond not coming back?
They're women who can actually ball more than an average woman, but they're not like, oh, I can tell you're a professional athlete type. Like it would be like collegiate or almost like that, right?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the most athletic women I've ever seen don't play any of the sports that we see. And that's the problem, because those women probably could produce or perform better on the court if they were to develop the skill set than some of the people we see on the roster, which makes it for a less entertaining game, which sounds really weird, but it's like, let's be honest. How many times have you went to a game like, oh, she's cute and she can hoop? Not she can hoop and she's also cute. We say that often with a lot of women on there, because they don't strike us as
Nah, 'cause you
athletes.
know
They
what?
strike us
No,
as attractive women who can
not
hoop.
everybody. Not
No, because you know
everybody,
what? Not even for me, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really watching you if you can't hoop. I don't even
Like-
see most of the muds that can't hoop.
Maya
Really?
Moore,
You know what I'm like I don't see
Skylar
none of the
Diggins-Smith.
WNBA players that can't hoop because they don't even show them mugs. I say this, they've done a great job with like their Instagram marketing and Twitter marketing. Like you don't see like the run of the mill players.
Let's be honest. Skylar Diggins is a nice name. She can hoop.
Cher Hooper.
But for most people, we saw her in a jersey like, oh, that's an attractive young lady.
Yeah.
And she so happens to play basketball. Not, this is a basketball player who just so happens to be attractive. And honestly, it sounds weird, but there's a major difference between there. And that's a hard thing to say. And I'm not saying it the best way, but it's like, yo, the way they market it and stuff like that is just weird. It's just like women who hoop, not athletes who just so happen to be women.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's kind of hard because the best person to probably promote the women's product is probably a man, because they would know how to promote it in a way that would draw more attention for those who are diehard basketball savants as men. I don't know if
somebody actually said that on the I Am Athlete pod though. Like
the thing to me is, I think if you
more NBA players, like instead of going to the game, somebody actually need to go behind there and like do their due diligence.
I don't know how to say. Yeah, like there's some things I would do to make the team more attractive. And what I mean by attractive is like not like, oh, they have to be pretty. Like this don't have to be lingerie football. Like I honestly don't like lingerie football. I get it. It's a little, if that's your swirl, go for it.
Hey, there must be
that's
hitting.
exploiting. That's exploiting women, in my opinion.
They must be hitting though. I say
they
that.
Do be hitting.
Absolutely the ones. All right, you cheated. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those things.
What?
I don't think the WNBA has to go that route, but I mean, realistically, something has to change. Like either we have to up the level of athlete, because like the most athletic women I know are not basketball players.
That's what has to happen.
And so it's like, hey,
and I think that's gonna happen. Listen, we're what the WNBA doesn't understand is that it's going to take time for you to get there. It's not going to be overnight. All of a sudden, we're making the same amount of money as the men. And it's not to say that you can't make the same amount of money as the men, but I'll tell you this, you can't draw the same amount of money as the men. I don't care if you have TV deals and you have
you're not deserving of more money just because you play a
TV deals matter when I turn on the TV and it's a big marquee game and that stadium is full.
I don't know why they make those arguments.
I mean, the WNBA just got league pass like last year.
I don't know why they. Yeah, true. I don't know why they make these arguments on money and stuff like that. Like, let's think about it. In sports in general, the sport who should be getting paid the most just doesn't. Football players should absolutely be making more than basketball players. They really are just now entering the conversation.
I feel like that's on them.
Yeah, that's on the NFLPA.
No,
the NFLPA done a terrible job.
But still, it's still men who play a very physical sport who are being paid less than men who play a less physical sport.
And even in football and basketball, it's more even. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, how many times kid done brought up a player in basketball and we be like, fam, he is not finna make $20 million a year. And kid be like, $20 million is the going rate. In football, it is not like that. It is
Not at all.
your top money. Some dudes that make a little money in between. That's like really good players, but not stars. $500K.
Hey,
Laurie
they had
Marketing
him
gonna
with
make
the
20 mil.
Larry Marketing make 20 mil. That's so.
This is here. This is here. This is here. Oh, that's me. No, that's not true.
That's not you right there.
Hey,
No.
Otto
Then
Porter
there's
to
this.
this day
Then there's this. Then there's this.
got paid
Then
more
there's
from the
me. No,
Bulls
that's
than
not true.
DeMar, Lonzo, and Zach.
Yeah.
And Vooch. Otto Porter had made more than our starting lineup.
And
Not
that's
To
combined,
sit
but
on the
individually.
bench and look fresh.
sit on the bench and look
He
fresh.
got paid 28 mil to sit on the bench.
Hey, I don't even know how fresh he was because me and Otto Porter had the same jacket on one day.
Hey, listen, you be fly sometimes, dog, but 28 million, I think you're gonna dress a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you should be wearing the same clothes as me.
So, but how is that possible though? It's possible because the NBA is that much of a draw that they can pass out those type of contracts.
Yeah.
The NFL just now came around to that, and they still don't pass out them contracts. Like,
hey, sure, Chandler Parsons stole money.
Oh my
no,
God,
his
Chandler
situation is
Parsons
different.
stole money. Chandler Parsons
Ain't
got
the one that
paid.
got into a car accident?
No, Chandler ended up just hurting his back on the court, but he had I think his
Chandler
contract was like
Chandler Parsons
guaranteed.
and Nick Batum absolutely stole money. Nick Batum stole money from Mike.
No, somebody.
Nick Batum played though. I'll say this:
he got into a car accident. He came back and he got into it was one of those. He was on the Rockets, right?
Yeah, no,
Chandler
but
Parsons
not
on the Rockets.
I think it was Chandler
car
Parsons.
accident was like
I could be
way
wrong.
after though.
Yeah, but it was like a year after, and he ended up not being. It's like since 2017. He ain't played since 2017 because he just resolved his lawsuit for a very substantial amount. The insurance company has to pay him a huge amount because he had
just retired.
No, yeah, he just retired. Like
he
what,
just retired because the lawsuit just ended.
Yeah.
Like he just settled,
okay.
He just settled his lawsuit. They're gonna pay him the money, and now he's retired because he's not gonna be able to play.
Yeah. I like Mike Davidson comment there. He said women's soccer team needs to be paid more for as much as they win. And it's not about winning. It's about your draw. The Sparks win. Sparks have what? Like 6 championships, something like that?
Yeah.
Sparks win. It's about your draw. Women's
soccer team need to play against the men's soccer team.
No. This is the thing, though. Women's soccer teams draw more than the men. That's why the U.S. women's soccer team has a case on we should be paid more. Because when they go to the Olympics and when they go do what they do, not only do they win, but it's a bunch of people sitting in the stands screaming their names.
I do know more of the women's soccer team.
It's a blowout.
That is why they should absolutely be paid more than the men.
Time out.
Because I'm gonna tell you this right now.
But they were paid more than the men.
Hey, look, when the men go, we should say, or when the men go over there, we be like, hey, just don't embarrass us,
dog. But they were paid more. The Olympic women in the contract they agreed to, if you look at it as the total benefit, they got more benefit than the Olympic men. They negotiated that contract and they accepted that contract.
Yeah.
Then they want to cry that they were not getting paid fairly. You can't do that. You negotiated this. You have all these things in there. You get all this paid time off. Like you negotiated these things with a competitive salary.
Yeah.
So I agree that they should be paid more. No, I think they should negotiate better.
No. I'm saying
that
like
is
if
true to Kid's point because
no, but what I'm saying is
Solo just what
I'm saying is for their argument, if they were like pay us more, we're going to collect it, or when they come back to the table, if they're like we want to make this much and we should make this much, they should make that much because they're a great draw and they win. But most importantly, they're a great draw. Now, if you negotiate a bad deal, you the NFL.
Yeah, see the thing with the NFL that kills me every time, because this is exactly how it'll go. They'll pick up their phone. They'll be like, "Dad, Rudy Gobert made 200 M's. Yeah, man, that's nice. I wish we can get that. You coulda. You just You never went to the table with the right mindset.
Yeah. You
Like,
gotta know. You absolutely have to negotiate the right deal. And that's what it comes down to with a lot of these. The MLB screwed themselves out of it. You know what I'm saying?
dog,
MLB screwed themselves out of money
hey,
based on how they wanted to
not
set
getting
up.
a new season for a minute.
Oh, we gonna see. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I am all for owners and players having a dispute and going on strike all the way up until June. Less baseball is not a bad thing. 162 games is way too many, and I love baseball.
What about
We
100?
don't need 162 games to decide who's the best team. Oh, it's a marathon, not a race. It's too goddamn long.
I just said do 100 games.
The season starts in what? We talk. The White Sox are supposed to start spring training at the end of this month.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
The playoffs don't start till September. You're playing your sport from February to September. It's too many doggone games.
100 games is all they need.
I shouldn't have a coat on to go watch the World Series.
50 home, 50. Yo, time out. Wasn't it a World Series where that mug was just like snowing the entire time?
Yes. Because it was two cold weather teams.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need 162. I love baseball. I can sit and watch baseball. I could watch a 9-inning game, and tomorrow, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch another 9-inning game. I am a baseball fan. I can sit down and watch Mike Trout versus doggone Eloy Jimenez all day.
So, hey man,
162 is
the
too
biggest draw they got right
doggone
now
long.
is for Fernando Tatis.
Hey, Fernando Tatis. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Fernando Tatis every year. You hate to say it like that. It's gonna sound bad. Anyway, Fernando Tatis every year he not playing, feel a little bit better.
Hey, didn't y'all have him in y'all farm system?
Yeah. We traded him for big game James. Let's
look into these NBA trade rumors as this is heating up real quick. We got 10 days left.
Yeah.
And since we're not predominantly a Bulls channel or NBA
now
channel.
We got what? We got 8 days left now?
We call a lot of Bulls sports. Yeah. So it's only right that we give it this fair shake. So let's look at NBA trade deadline real quick. Hard segue, but we got to do it because rumor wheel is heating up. It is heating up. So right now, let's address the elephant in the room. Buyout market. Paul Millsap.
Hey, you see how he leaning over? He been waiting to get to this.
No, I'm just trying to make sure we keep a good product on the shelf. That's all.
Second, we talked about baseball. Let's get the heck away from that.
Hey, listen. Every time we've talked about baseball on the live, the numbers dropped.
Hey, man, we talked about a lot of stuff that made the numbers drop. They coming back, baby. It's too good of a product.
We've talked about absolute nonsense and people stayed. You talk baseball, numbers dropped. I don't know what it is about baseball. I don't know why you all hate baseball. I get it.
I don't know why you all hate baseball.
But baseball is so boring. The topic of baseball loses numbers. So anyway, go back to the Bulls buyout market. Paul Millsap. You like it? You love it? You hate it?
Yeah, it is what it is.
So you like it?
Paul Millsap is not gonna play defense.
Yeah.
Or rebound. I mean, he can score. But
I think he can rebound and defend.
Nah. Matter of fact,
not based on what he's done the last. Well, I'm not basing on anything he did in Brooklyn because Brooklyn, they basically were just like, yeah, dog, you're not getting no tick. But his last couple seasons, like he's kind of just been a dude that's on the court.
You just out there.
I like it. I was about
I
to say he is first team all defense. Like he's been a defensive player most of his career. To be honest with you, Pat.
no,
But
no, I get you. I'm just saying in coming to the what's he
Hey,
36?
he averaging 4 rebounds right now, dog.
Well, that's because he ain't got no tick in. He hasn't got no tick in Brooklyn. They haven't given him an opportunity to play at
they
all.
starting Claxton over him, and they should. Claxton is actually on the come up. I like him.
Y'all got to understand this ain't 32-year-old Paul Millsap even. This is 36-year-old Paul Millsap that the last couple years has been a guy. Hey Shay, where were you when we played Portland, dog? Shay been talking about Robert Covington being on the buyout market all season. And the one game we play against Robert Covington, Shay was nowhere to be found.
I like Robert Covington because he gives you what we want Tony to be. He gives you not Tony. What's that boy name?
He a nice player.
Troy.
Troy to be.
He gives you what you want Troy to be.
Yeah.
And he's already that. He's not having the best shooting go for the season, but he really doesn't shoot a high percentage, period. But he is someone who we know we can get boards and can be a defensive presence. Like we know we get that. So I like that. I would like a Robert Covington.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't know if I'd trade for him, but if he's on the buyout market, go get him.
My man was just out there running and jumping the last game because he went 0 for 8 from the field, but he had 13 boards and 9 assists. I like to see that. You ain't got the shot going, but you gave me double. You almost got a double with no points. I want that player on my team. Stand next to Vooch. Shut it up.
No, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with him as long as I wouldn't trade for him though. I wouldn't trade for Robert Covington. Unless it's what's his name? Unless it's the same kind of deal that whoever that was talking about with Dennis Schroeder.
Hey, listen, Dennis.
Hey, Schroeder, I would get that. I'd give that deal up in a heartbeat for a lot of dudes.
Hey, the crazy thing about that Dennis Schroeder deal, though,
when they said for Dennis Schroeder, they giving up Troy Brown and a 2nd round pick. I was like, sure, it don't make no sense. Like he's not gonna start over Io right now. I don't think. Because Io's playing really well, or maybe he will. I don't know, but I guess
you looked at the wrong name, baby. You looked at the wrong name.
Hey,
Kobe White ain't starting though.
It's 2 things. If they do,
and Dennis Schroeder ain't a 2.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We are in buy. First of all, we keep cutting off Steph. What were you trying to say, Steph?
I was gonna say like it's 2 things that if they make that deal, I find pretty interesting. I feel like it was some of y'all mugs in the chat that was clowning him about 6 hams, and now y'all want him. That's one.
Oh, I'm definitely clowning you for fumbling a 70M bag to get 6.
Oh yeah, nah, definitely. But it's
hey, look, I get to clown you. At the same time, you still make way more money than I do in a month.
At the same time, you have a much better skill set than $6 million a year in this league. I mean, he's averaging like 17 points on a very dysfunctional Celtics team.
Ain't he a Rich Paul athlete too?
He was a 6-man candidate couple years back. That's one. And then 2, if the Bulls give up Troy Brown, I want to see y'all at least get back Josh Richardson.
Bro, Troy Brown is a nice role player. He's a really nice role player when you got a bunch of people that can hide him. When he's got to play a prominent role, he's not that dude. So giving up Troy Brown really don't mean nothing. The problem that I have with it is
giving up Pat Will potentially.
No, Pat Will wasn't part of that deal.
Pat Will is not part of that deal for Schroeder, but Pat Will is part of the potential deal for Jeremy Grant. And what we don't realize is AK is absolutely in a win now mode because this is the best opportunity we have to win now. So realistically, I could see him getting really aggressive and pulling off both moves because of the injuries we have, because there's no guarantee that Alex Caruso comes back and is the same and comes back. And there's no guarantee that Lonzo comes back ready to go because we'd be rolling right into the playoffs within less than a week once they are projected to come back. So at this point, he's like, hey, we got some fat we can trim. We can get some names in here. It may not work, but at least on paper, they can gel, they can go, and they can go far. I'm not mad at it. I would trade P. Will for Jeremy Grant, and I would trade for Dennis Schroeder, and we'd have a very deep team. And we'd have a very deep team, to be honest with you.
But
even
you
with
wouldn't
when we get our
have
players back, I could
you
see it
wouldn't have
happening.
any of them pieces. I get going for it, but you don't have any of them pieces next year. And like Troy Brown, the Dennis Schroeder one is fine. I just don't know how they play together. Like I don't know how, like when everyone is healthy, where's Dennis go? Just to
He
Dennis.
he's not
definitely
going.
comes off the bench like he's doing for Boston at times, and he can give you better production on a team that has a legitimate shot at winning.
Yeah,
Dennis
but I
Schroeder's a
mean,
good player.
but he's a point guard. He's
Yeah,
not a two.
he's a point guard who he also can play the two. Dennis Schroeder can
A
play the
little
two.
bit, not really.
I mean,
I think that I think
you
that's
just run a three guard.
that
You
was
just
his
run a 3
problem.
guard set off the bench.
No, but that
Simple.
was his problem out in LA. When he was out in LA, they would put him out there at point guard. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. And then they make a play to two, and you would see Dennis Schroeder jacking up 3-pointers. You'd be like, what the heck is he doing?
But Dennis Schroeder,
And then the few games where
he was a 6-man candidate though.
yeah,
but
he's 6'3".
but the few games where we saw Dennis taking mugs off the dribble, attacking the bucket, being a point guard, we was like,
He's a
this dude
combo
absolutely
guard.
can play.
He's a combo guard, so he can play the two.
Yeah.
He's definitely a combo guard.
If the Bulls,
That's why he didn't work in LA, because he didn't have the lanes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
They
like
tried to make him a spot up shooter, and that's not his game.
I don't know.
He can
And
shoot.
then even that,
That doesn't mean it's his game.
you gonna move Io to the two when he's been thriving at the point?
Hold on, wait. You missed the whole thing. Walk it back. If you get Schroeder here and you get Grant here, you don't have P. Will, you don't have Troy Brown, you don't have Kobe White, and you lose a second rounder. Nothing changes from Kobe to Schroeder. Well, let me say Dennis, because I always struggle with his last name. Nothing changes.
Schroeder.
Dennis is just a better player. He's matured. He's at that time. He's just a better player right now.
Hey, and by the way, the last couple of stops he's been at, he's averaged double figures from like 15 to 19 a game.
So you get a better
he's
production.
absolutely a bucket.
I don't know how much
get a
better
product for what you want Kobe White to be. You want Kobe White to come in and be instant offense. Dennis can come in and be instant offense.
I actually agree with Kid on that.
Hey, looking at his games this season, I don't see how much better.
Dog, he went to Boston to die. I'm keep telling you all, Boston has a problem there. Boston is not getting the most out of the best backcourt. They have the potential to have the best backcourt in the league, and they've done nothing with it. Yeah. I don't care what you say. Boston right now is a laughing stock for the NBA because
he's still averaging 14.
Yeah, but look at them games though. That's what I'm saying. It's very Kobe White like. For as much as we want to bash Kobe White or get Kobe White up out of here, it's 22, 29, 23.
If he gets in the right situation, he will absolutely thrive.
I love you, dude. I really do. Dennis Schroeder is a whole. It's a different ball game at that position. He's a better player. I'm not saying Kobe won't eventually be that, but as it stands right now, Dennis Schroeder is the best. Is the better of the two.
This is what I'm saying. Right now, what's on the court, he's not showing that.
Who?
Dennis Schroeder.
His situation is not.
Bro, nobody is showing it. Look at where
nobody on Boston is being consistent. It's Boston. Right now, we're talking about Boston as they don't have it together because they don't.
You failed and they gave you a promotion. Brad Stevens failed and they gave him a promotion. If that's together,
they don't have a good product right now because it's not being managed well. I don't know what the problem is, but they need to totally go for a full rebuild in Boston. They need to trade them assets while they can, get them picks back that they lost. Because right now they are not doing well. They need to either give up Brown or Tatum. I think they're gonna give up on Brown, but they have to break that up. It's not working.
Yeah, I do got a question for you though. So, cause I'm looking at it because I keep seeing Troy Brown going with him. I want Josh Richardson. If I'm the Bulls, I want Josh Richardson back in that deal. Cause I think Josh Richardson can hoop. But the two
Man,
places that they sent him
you
to,
asking a lot for Troy Brown. I'm impressed that you gonna get Dennis Schroeder for Troy Brown.
Hey, listen. Hey, I don't know where you're going with that one.
You know what I'm
I was gonna
saying?
let
Like
you
he's
say it,
asking
but I'm
for a
like,
lot
Troy
of
Brown ain't
people for
that dude,
Troy
man.
Brown Jr., dog. Troy Brown is not that dude.
He's not, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. So
Hey,
that's
Troy
why
Brown,
you said you could get Dennis Schroeder for Troy Brown. Get it in a heartbeat. You wanna know why? Because Troy Brown is 6'6".
no, you get it in a heartbeat because it's a fleece.
It is a fleece.
That's
how you do it.
It's a fleece, and he can hit the corner jump shot.
Hey, listen. All I'm saying is, I would take Dennis for Troy Brown heartbeat. You wanna know why? Because I do believe that we're gonna try to make a move for other bigs or someone to help Vooch on boards. Robert
Yeah,
Covington and
so
buyout. I don't care. I don't care who it is. If they end up getting Jeremy Grant, I don't care who it is. That move has to be made. But I ain't afraid of giving up Troy Brown Jr., who's the same size as DeMar, same size as that,
hey,
to get
hey,
to
listen,
Dennis Schroeder.
hey, listen.
Smitty, real quick.
Hey, there's at least a question mark when you say, "Do I really want to give up P. Will's future for a year of Jeremy Grant?" There's at least a question mark there. There's no question mark on giving up.
Sure.
The bigger question mark is, I've
How
seen
soon?
AK. Hey, look, the bigger question mark is I've seen AK turn second round picks into Io DeSumo. Do I want to give up the second round pick? At no point am I questioning, do I
Troy
want to give
Brown.
up Troy Brown?
Hey, Marvin Bagley, for some odd reason, no one else here but
Hey,
me thinks
he
that Marvin
said,
Bagley would
he
be
said,
good. So
he said, if they give up Troy, I at least want to see him get Josh Richardson back. You're not getting a 2-player package out here, dog. I'm impressed with getting one.
I'm just saying with the way AK been fleecing people, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Hey,
plus the last time we actually saw him hoop, he was getting busy. He went to Dallas to stand in the corner.
Who?
Josh Richardson.
Josh Richardson? I mean, okay. I'm just saying, like,
well, why would you go get Josh Richardson when, in all actuality, I'm gonna just put this out here. They're pretty much the same dude.
Nah,
Josh just plays more minutes.
Dog, he ain't really been playing because you talk about situation all the time. I actually believe he would be able to play valuable minutes if the Bulls actually went out
at Troy playing 25 minutes, he averaged 10, 5, and let's say 3. Josh Richardson has been playing starter minutes and he's averaging like 14 points.
Hey, I do gotta ask this though, because I keep seeing Muggs say, "Go get Jeremy Grant to help Vooch."
Jeremy Grant is not helping Vooch.
I saw Marv on. Like, why are we so enamored with Jeremy Grant for the scoring?
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because he absolutely gets jiggy with the basketball. That's it. You're not gonna help them like that.
Yeah, but I got a bunch of dudes that get jiggy with the basketball.
Right, which is why I don't want to get rid of P. Will, because P. Will actually helps Vooch.
Hey, fam, I'm confused. Like, I keep hearing Jeremy Grant name.
Not a rebounding machine by any stretch of the imagination.
Bro, I keep hearing Jeremy Grant name come up like he finna go down there and help Vooch. Like, if we making a move for somebody, let's get somebody that's gonna help Vooch. Like that's been my stance on it. I'm not opposed.
This is the first time I would say, hey, I've been on the Marvin Bagley train for a while because Marvin Bagley is a guaranteed double-double. The man is averaging nearly a double-double, and he's gonna help on boards. I would love to have Marvin Bagley.
I would rather see the Bulls make a move for Marvin Bagley. Now, again, my stance on Marvin Bagley has never been don't go get Marvin Bagley. My stance on Marvin Bagley is Sacramento's. No. My stance on Marvin Bagley was Sacramento won a first. It's always been my stance. Sacramento won a first-round pick back for Marvin Bagley.
I'm just telling you not to go get him because his focus ain't right.
Considering our history, right? Ayo, a heck of a second-round player. Should have been a first.
Yeah.
But if you look at our first-round draft pick since then, I'm pretty much comfortable in saying that Marvin Bagley can give me just as much impact as P. Will. in the area I need him. I need boards. Marvin Bagley's going to give me boards. He may not stick LeBron every game, but P. Will don't
I don't
get me
want him to stick
boards.
LeBron.
Hey, P. Will don't get me boards. For
I
him
don't
to
e-
be as,
I don't
I don't
even
know
think,
what it is. He don't get
fam,
boards.
I don't think there's not enough. I don't think there's enough value on Marvin Bagley. But this is the problem with Marvin Bagley, right? You giving it up just to get something at the deadline to have somebody in here to help you with rebounds. I don't think there's enough value on Marvin Bagley to give up on the future of a player. And I know you saying win now, but yes, he's what, 12-10 right now, numbers
He ain't
wise,
playing right now
in a horrible situation, or when he was in there 12-10 in a horrible situation.
He's playing so spotty. Like he's playing like 2-3 games. He really don't want to be there.
He don't want to be there. He don't want to be there in a horrible situation. And I think coming to a new situation, he could flourish. But the thing to me is he don't want to be there. His contract is up this year, right? Like I think the last year, this is the last year of his deal.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
if I can get a dude for nothing and be like, hey, we winning over here, come play ball. He got no value. You gonna get him at a discount.
Well, you could. No, he has one year left. And you could be getting him for a
but is
steal.
that ain't the fourth year? The fourth year is a team option, ain't it?
It's a team option.
And
it's only $14 million. So to be honest with you, it's still a steal because what he's going to get you.
It's still a steal, but I'm saying it's a team option. He's not playing. He's essentially like, y'all suck. I'm not messing with y'all. Like, is the team gonna pick up that option?
If I'm the Bulls, I would pick it up. And he's a
no. I'm saying
is
Sacramento gonna pick up that option? You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to get him for nothing. He's gonna be a restricted free agent.
They're not gonna pick up the option because it's already too many.
The only reason you pick up the option is if you think you have value to trade them, and most times in the NBA with players like that, teams are gonna say, "I'll wait because I know he don't want to be there, and you not gonna find a trade partner for him." Or if you do find a trade partner, you are going to take an absolute L on the value. You know what? Hey, listen, you know what trade partner he going to get? The Bulls going to be like, I mean, we could not go get Dennis, and we could send you Troy Brown in a second.
You know, the one thing I will say,
I don't want to see Troy go there though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want to see none of our players go to a team where they're not in contention. That's a like no, I feel bad on that.
I'm cool with that. I'm sorry.
Hey, I feel bad on that, dog. You trade Troy Brown, he go from first place to the Sacramento Kings. He go from first place to the Sacramento Kings. Like, my bad, Troy. My bad.
Hey, Troy, it's two ways we could look at it. You could be expendable. Or you can look at it as you could go to a team, show out, have an opportunity to get as much stick as you want, make some money. You
gonna have the opportunity to get nothing but tick, my boy, because can't nobody over there play besides what's the 2-point guards' names?
Halliburton,
Halliburton and doggone
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, and De'Aaron Fox.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm a player like him, he's in his 5th year or whatever like that. I know winning a ring is ultimately what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I would rather go to a team that's going to give me playing time to develop as a player, to make myself more valuable to the market, and then go chase a ring. Because at the end of the day, Troy could win a ring right now and still be an afterthought. No one's going to value him the same. No one's going to say, oh, yeah, Troy Brown Jr., NBA champion. No one's going to say that. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, all right, he was on that team, cool. He chipped in. He was like the 7th, 8th man on the team. Like,
yeah,
and we know that he's a better player than that.
Don't we do that with most of them?
I can't speak for him. I'm just saying what I would do if I had the opportunity. And so I value, I always value the players and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about them as they're like cattle or anything like that. It was just how I would position myself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't we do that with most players though? Like, if you're that back of the team guy, like, I think we do that with every team. Like, I think most players would say, I'd rather have a ring. Like, even Kuz, they tried to clown Kuz when he went back to Cleveland. They was like, oh, Kuz, they said LeBron got you a ring. He was like, hey, we got something in common.
You know what? I
You know
see
what
the
I'm saying?
comment a lot. Guys, we're in first place. And Marva, I appreciate you. I think somebody else mentioned it too. We need to stop holding on to this. Two things we need to stop doing. Stop overvaluing the first place thing. Is it nice? Does it mean that we're competitive? Yeah. But we're half game back from two other teams are half game back.
Brooklyn about to fall out.
Brooklyn is in a 6 seed. They're only 4 games back. The East is so tightly contested. We're one injury away, or somebody taking a few games off, a couple games down for us being in the 5th seed. It's not as solid as you think it is. It's not.
I will say y'all do talk that up a lot.
Hey Ringo. I don't want to hear from you because you was talking big stuff
You definitely
when you
talk
was
big
in
stuff.
first place. You know what I'm saying?
No,
big stuff.
The difference is
when they was in first place, and then when they was in
we
second, it's all the Bulls fans always talking that stuff. Nah, dog, ain't nobody trying to hear that.
Hey, like the West is totally different. The West, once you get past top 3, the next team is like 11 games back from first place. Like that's not a tightly contested thing. You're number 1 in the West. You're legit. You are the best in the West.
You got some time. And everybody else.
you can like Phoenix can lose 5 games straight, and guess what? They'll still be top 2. We lose 5 games straight. We are lucky to be in a 7th seed. I want you all to understand that. A lot of things have to go right for us to still stay in that top seed. It's not.
Nah, we good. We still we not gonna
look at if you pull up the standings right now. If we're on a 4-game skid and those teams win 4 games, guess what? We can drop all the way to the 7th seed. It legitimately is that tight.
Yeah,
nah, you're still 3 games back. Then Charlotte's what? Charlotte 8 games back. You still be in the playoffs.
We're still be in the playoffs, but when you're not as comfortable because it's such a tightly contested conference. That's all it is. Hey, listen.
It depends on why we drop. I'll say that. It depends on why we like Brooklyn right now dropping. Like Brooklyn's probably like, yeah, I don't care if we 8. We got KD.
Here's the thing. So Brooklyn is 8 right now, is what you're saying, right?
No, Brooklyn is 6 right now. Brooklyn dropped to 6.
I mean, we got these smartphones in our hands. We can go ahead and just look it up.
Yeah, they're the 6th seed right now. Go ahead.
Pat, I can't really I see what you're saying, but I can't really think like that because the Lakers felt like that last season. Oh,
yeah, bro, the Lakers were injured. 5.5 games back from first place.
Because they said, yo, Bron and AD is out last season, and they absolutely ran it. It was matchups. Like, it was matchups.
It is matchups and all that, and you're absolutely right. But here's the point I want to get. The Heat are 1 game back. The Sixers are a game and a half back. The Bucks are a game and a half back. The Cavs are 2 games behind us. The Nets are 3.5 games behind us. Guess what? This ain't no we got a lock on the East. No, we don't.
No.
The first spot is rented, and it's just our time. And we're capitalizing on it. And I hope we stay there. I really do. But if we were to slide, I wouldn't be surprised. Because any team in the top 8 could go on a run and we can go on a skid. Doesn't mean that we're a bad team. It just means that they hit a stride at the right time. You could absolutely be looking at a playoff team in the East not make the play. Well, the play-in kind of changes that. So that's different. The best team is hopefully going to do that. So that's why the play-in, like for the Eastern Conference, the play-in makes sense. The Western Conference?
Yes. The play-in makes sense for the Eastern. I'll say this. While we're probably not going to be entertained by the teams are so close. Like Washington keep falling back in and out. Toronto keep falling back in and out. The teams are so close, the play-in game is going to actually mean something. And I hope Toronto's in it. I ain't going to lie to you because that's the only way it's going to be entertaining.
The Clippers right now are 16.5 games back from the Suns. That is an 11-game difference in conferences from 8th seed to 1st seed.
Yeah.
The Lakers are a play-in team. First of all, the Clippers are ahead of the Lakers, and they didn't even get none of their stars. Whole different argument there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what is the point? So we can get off of it and move on to something else. Is stop overvaluing these things. Stop overvaluing first place. Stop saying we don't need to do this. No, you need to stay competitive because guess what? Philly is a game and a half back. Guess what? Philly is on the cusp of making a move potentially that could absolutely keep them at the top of this thing.
But I think you do. I think you do have to value being in first place. I understand it's a tentative spot, but let's be real. It's not like the Bulls are just in first right now.
Oh, we've been
The
up
Bulls
there
have been in
most
first
seasons.
for weeks. Now they lost the spot for what? What we lose the spot for? 8 days to Miami?
We were
10.
the Nets had it for a while. We went
The
back and
Nets
forth with
had
the
it for a
Nets.
while,
Miami
but
had it.
but
We went back and forth with Miami.
but the
But here's the
Bulls
thing:
have
Miami is a different
Hey, the
situation.
Wizards had it for a while
They
too.
got people who are injured coming back now.
No,
Hey,
I agree with you.
Kyle Lowry was out for 9 games.
I
Victor
agree.
Oladipo
I agree
is
with
coming
what
back.
I agree with what you're saying. But what I'm saying is you have to value the fact that this team has stayed in first while going through COVID, while a lot of teams weren't going through COVID or going through losing major players to COVID, while a lot of teams weren't going through that. We had our run of COVID pretty much before anybody else did. And then after we started getting healthy, then people started coming back. So to me, like, you have to value how the Bulls have stayed in first place because that's all a part of winning a championship and being there. Can those backup guys come in and be impactful? Can Kobe White come in and have meaningful minutes? Can Ayo Dosunmu come in and have meaningful minutes? Like, those are all things that go into building a championship. So I value the fact that we have been in first, that we've been in first for most of the season, if we're being honest. And I value the fact that we did it while Brooklyn was still doing what they was doing. Now, James, I think the Brooklyn situation to me is different because they've literally constructed that team as Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and the rest of y'all. So I think I'm starting to look at Brooklyn now. Like, there's no reason this team. I understand Kevin Durant's not there. That is a major part. But you've constructed your team to where they can't win without him. And that is a major flaw. There are a lot of teams. Joel Embiid wasn't out there on Philly, and they beat Memphis, who was one of the hottest teams in the West. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to find ways to win without your best player. Now, you might not win a championship, but I should be able to count on you to win a couple of games.
To me, James Harden is the reason why that team ain't clicking. Now, you can blame Kyrie, and I do, but at least when Kyrie plays, he's playing. James Harden be out there running and jumping.
But that's what James is doing.
James Harden dropped 37 minutes, dropped 4 points.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. That team, to me, is a poorly constructed team. It's literally Kyrie, KD, the rest of y'all. If KD or Kyrie is not there, it is that dude and the rest of y'all. Like, honestly.
Hey, but you want to know what?
And with one of them, it's just not enough. And I get like, oh, they coming back with the same roster they went to the almost to the Eastern Conference Finals with last year. Yeah, but they was old then, and now they all a year older.
I think a couple of things could be true. One, Steve Nash at his first 2 years as head coach, maybe not giving it the best go. Which is hard to say because he made the Eastern Conference Finals. But when you have elite talent like that,
he didn't.
You have a playoff or bust mentality. Like,
he didn't. He only made the semis, bro.
Well, yeah. All right, semis. He made the semis. All right.
He was a Kevin Durant toe away from going, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
inches
you got
matter.
that. But I don't. It's
yeah. So
I think Steve Nash is having a hard time really coaching that team. I think, to be honest with you, not even Steve Kerr had to deal with that level of talent his first year. Clay, Steph, and Draymond, they weren't at that point yet.
Oh, making them all work together?
Yeah, like they weren't there yet.
I disagree. Draymond wasn't.
Didn't they win his first year?
They won his first year, but as players, like Clay wasn't the Clay. Like, Clay was good, but Clay wasn't James Harden. Like he didn't have to deal with Kevin Durant, and he'd have to deal with championship like savant Kyrie. Like, it's a different level of talent that you inherit as a first year coach with a different level of ego.
I think he's had I ain't gonna lie to you. He's probably had the worst shake that you can go through as a head coach of a team. He's probably had the worst shake that you can go through as the head coach of a team, dog. You think you got players that's gonna be there? They just disappear to go out of the country for a mental break. Didn't really tell nobody nothing. Kevin Durant has got injury problems up and down. The dude come back and you finally like, oh, this man's really good. I really like what he does when he's on the court. Now he
Then
can't
you
play
play him
half
for
the
like
games
50
because of
minutes
the
a
back.
game. He's injured again.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, they was running KD into the ground for a minute. It came off
bro,
a
Steve,
whole
Steve
Achilles
Nash
tear.
just Steve Nash just had to work. But even this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I still feel this way. I see Marv talk about, come on, guys. Every last one of you guys said to me that Brooklyn was the team to beat. They just struggling now. Here's the thing.
KD comes back, they still are. I don't care what you say.
If KD and Kyrie are on the floor, they are the team to beat. The
Who
problem
don't
with
know
how
that?
the problem to me is how they're constructed. KD's not on the floor. This is the rest of your team. Bruce Brown, Javon Carter, David Duke, James Harden, Joe Harris, Patty Mills, Cam Thomas, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeAndre Bembry, Nick Claxton, Kessler Edwards,
Which
Blake Griffin, James Johnson, Deron Sharp.
Oh, that's the year before.
I'm
Then
gonna
this
be
year is
real
different.
with you. If
I'm
I
talking
was
about
them,
this year.
You didn't say LaMarcus Aldridge.
Nah, he did. He
I said
definitely
LaMarcus
did.
Aldridge.
You did?
Nah,
I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. LaMarcus Aldridge.
I'm gonna say this though.
He was also on the
I
team
feel
last
like
year.
they should have never got. They should have never went out and got James. If they just would have kept KD and Kyrie.
You could have built the team.
Because Jared Allen was ascending. Like you could say whatever you want to say about Nicholas Claxton. He catch lobs. He's absolutely not that dude.
Oh, they had a much better team without James Harden.
They had a much better team without James Harden.
They did. I have to agree with that.
I would.
The only piece I would have got rid of is Buddy that's in Indiana right now.
Karis LeVert,
because he wanted to be the starting guard.
Yeah,
it's the only piece I would have got rid of.
But Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, for the most part, outside of, even Karis LeVert, they all went on to have and put up pretty good numbers. They needed to actually just develop it. I think KD missed out on a good opportunity even without Kyrie, because let's say Kyrie goes through his same struggles, he still would have had good guards around him that produce, because James Harden just ain't it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason why James Harden is not fitting in his offense is because the offense is not centered on him dribbling 32 times.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like, James Harden is that ISO player. If he's going to play this way, where he's like, I'm coming off the ball, I want to be in this, I want to assist and stuff like that, that's the only reason why he fits in a team like Philly, because he's going to defer and stuff like that. And in Philly, you could defer. He can defer to a big man. He can defer to a Seth Curry. He can defer, like, to get other people shots.
Yeah,
because it is kind of working here, right? It's kind of working here. But you didn't want James Harden to do that here. You wanted James Harden to give me 25 a game. That's what you wanted.
You did.
You ain't got that.
Yeah.
So
and that's not, and the reason to me that it's a problem is because, like, we played without Zach, where it was just DeMar and Zoe. We still were able to win. We played without Zach, where it was just Vooch and DeMar, or Vooch and Zach, or Vooch and, you know what I'm saying, where it was Vooch and Zoe for a couple of games.
We still went 5-5 in the last 10.
No. I get you. I understand, like, the losses have been in there, but what I'm saying is, like, we found ways to win those games without KD, or without a huge names on our team in the lineup.
That's true.
We haven't really seen that from Brooklyn. When Brooklyn has missed, like, listen, when Kyrie was out, I get if you're missing Kyrie and KD, you're probably going to be out of that game, but you should be able to compete. like this is a top team in the Eastern Conference. You should be able to compete. I'm sorry, like, I feel like like you said, they tried to bring in James Harden and it hurt them.
I will say this, though. They did go on a skid after they beat us, but they did beat us. And they beat us
with KD and Kyrie.
They beat us with KD, Kyrie, and we had Vooch, we had Levine,
we had
Lonzo, we had DeRozan.
Yeah,
like,
we had
our squad for the most part.
James was there too.
But again, we've said
James put up 25. Kyrie put up.
that
Kyrie
was the
put up
difference in
9.
the game.
Kyrie was kind of.
Kyrie didn't have to do much because Patty Mills went off for 21. And Kevin Durant had 27.
James was the game. But what I'm saying is, like,
here's the thing: for us to say, hey, we got him and stuff like that. Hey, we played them full strength for most part too, and they spanked us by nearly 30. And it was like it looked effortless.
But you know what though, I will say.
And then we got spanked by Golden State by the same amount.
I was talking about this.
Looked effortless.
I was talking about this with my brother. He said this. He said, I like Kyrie right now is kind of like on his own thing. Like he's grateful to be back with the team for road games and everything like that. But Kevin Durant and James both know what this team could be. It's just not working out, dog. Like, it's just not working out. Because I wholeheartedly believe that he knows that if they're at full strength, even if it's just two of them, they can't. The Bulls can't beat the Nets. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. It don't matter.
I don't think anybody can.
Who's on who?
Hey, I love Marv. Marv, I love it.
But
if you're holding on to GJJ as the piece for us to beat the Nets, like, you got bigger problems.
It's not happening, y'all.
Well, I'll say I get what he's saying, because the one piece that you probably were talking about all week in practice, you're going to be guarding KD, you're going to be guarding KD, you lose that piece immediately, and it's like, well, next dude's Troy Brown.
You want to know why that doesn't make sense?
The whole time, remember, y'all was like,
because he does got to sit on the bench.
If we just had Caruso,
take time out.
If we just had Caruso, he can be on he can be on KD, he can be on Kyrie. No, he can't.
Yeah, but Caruso's a better defender as well.
Caruso's a better defender. He's gonna get cooked.
Caruso's a way better. Hey, listen. It don't matter who's on him. He gonna get cooked. No, but who does having Caruso in the game change? James Harden don't drop 25 on Caruso.
But
I can't say that.
The thing is, he's still going to
the shots he was getting.
Harden is James Harden.
He's still him.
James was getting wide open shots though. The shots he was getting.
The only thing that stops James Harden is James Harden.
And look,
James Harden made a career out of shooting with you in his face.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is on this Brooklyn team, James Harden has struggled with playing through the aggressive defense that the NBA has allowed. Caruso plays that aggressive defense. James Harden, to me, struggles in that situation. That was the game. That was the difference for us. Nobody's shutting down KD. When KD went on his run, nobody could stop him. The problem was KD went on his run at the same time that he kept dishing it over to James Harden, who also was going on his run.
Everyone's sitting there saying, hey, you remember when this person stopped this person, when this person stopped? We lost by 26. Nobody stopped nobody.
Nobody stopped nobody. Yeah.
Hey, listen, stop bringing up these. Oh, remember this play and stuff like that. I don't care how many times you get a block if you get 27 poured on your head. You got 27 poured on your head with somebody else dropping 25, someone else dropping 21, and guess what?
That's the difference.
The third best player on that team, if you want to consider him the third best player, didn't even have to score. He had 9 points.
Exactly.
No, that's the difference.
Kyrie Irving is a better scorer than me than James Harden. Guess what? He had 9 points.
Chat, I'm going to be honest with you right now. Y'all sound like a bunch of mugs at the park on 2K. He can't guard me. Your matchup
but Ringo, this the thing. Y'all getting dropped off by him too. Everybody's getting dropped off by the Nets.
Everybody gets dropped off.
Everybody's getting dropped off by Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Like, you trying to stand on this, we going to have him. Jimmy going to clamp him up. Jimmy going to get 37 put on his dome.
The difference with that is we have a veteran team.
Who you sending to guard Kevin Durant?
Absolutely put up a better shot.
I will say this. Miami does match up better against the Nets.
We absolutely match up better.
They do match up better.
Okay.
And they could keep up scoring-wise because they have better shooters than we do.
Okay. And we got the better bench.
You have a deeper bench. I won't say better.
Who's the two players? Who's the two players that are gonna stop Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant if they both at full strength?
You don't stop them when you're Miami. You try to compete because they can shoot with them.
Who's the players that's gonna contain them?
You can't. If you're Miami, you don't do that. You try to score with them. Miami can absolutely score with them.
Yeah, but Miami is built on the defensive side of the ball while also having Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, them dudes that can spark it up for you. At some point, Duncan Robinson gonna have to stand across from Kevin Durant if he's on the floor. I hope you can outscore that man.
That ain't never happening.
That's not happening.
Hey, it's gonna happen on a couple of plays, and they go like, "Hey, Duncan, don't you ever switch off."
That's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be Jimmy Butler on Kyrie.
Jimmy not even finna allow that to happen.
It's gonna be Jimmy Butler on Kyrie probably, height wise, and PJ on KD.
Well, PJ did a pretty decent job, and he still got 40 put on him.
Hey, listen, did a pretty decent job. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. It's not like PJ versus Giannis. Yeah, he kind of know how Giannis play. He know where Giannis want to go. He knows how to step up on that. PJ versus KD. Everybody keeps saying he made it harder on KD.
It's KD. Nobody.
No. KD did say he made it harder, and PJ talks about it. PJ says I had made it harder for him, so he couldn't absolutely just kill us, but he still dropped 40. Like he has a whole interview with JJ Redick talking about it.
I get you, but what I'm saying is
it's cold.
Harder don't mean I'm still not finna give y'all this 40 ball. What I'm saying is there's nobody in the NBA right now with KD and Kyrie on the floor that matches up well with KD and Kyrie.
But the flip side of it is harder does mean less efficient at times. And he did make him take a lot of shots. That's just like the Andre Iguodala versus LeBron. Andre Iguodala absolutely got 30 put on his head every game. If you look at the stats and you take away the shooting percentage, you be like, LeBron didn't get stopped at all. But if you put the shooting percentage in there, LeBron shot less than 40%.
Well, the difference is we would see LeBron not score for quarters. That was the difference in that final series. I went back and looked after the last time we talked.
Like the third quarter, he would get shut down.
LeBron did not score for full quarters.
Yeah.
Like there was a quarter where Iggy and that changes the game. Like you can drop 50. Listen, Mo Bamba dropped 40. What did he drop? He dropped
28.
He dropped 30. He dropped 35. He dropped 35. He dropped 30 of it in the first half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you go quarters without scoring, that's game changing. So I take back what I said. I said Iggy. I said anybody that guards Bron got the MVP. Iggy absolutely in that third quarter gave him no room to breathe. And sometimes Bron would be in the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. Bron would get off in the middle of the fourth, kind of start to get himself back into it. Last 2 minutes, suffocating.
If you watch that team though, Bron used to get shut down in the third a lot. If you watch you watch the other Cavs versus Warriors thing,
that team,
Bron used to get shut down a lot in the third, and Kyrie would absolutely be the only reason why they be in those games. I'm always gonna say this: I am more of a basketball fan than a particular team or a fan of a particular person. I like good basketball. And when you see good basketball to the point where it's like, hey, it's irrefutable, you can't sit there and just let these really weird narratives come about. Like, you can't stick KD. That's a fact. Can you make life difficult? Yeah. Can you challenge it to the point where, hey, he may not get everyone else involved? Sure.
Yeah.
But let's call a spade a spade. The Brooklyn Nets legitimately do have 2 MVPs and potentially a finals MVP candidate on their squad.
Hey, kid,
with the historic finals run. They're considered the best scorers to have ever touched a ball.
Yeah.
You don't match up with that. You try to contain it. You try to make life hard. But if they're full strength, you can't stop it. The only thing that's killing them is them. But if
James Harden is killing them. Harden is killing them.
If they were clicking, dude, we're not talking about Bulls being first place. We're talking about how can we last 7 games? Because we would try to go the distance.
Oh, you gotta know. You gotta try. You gotta try and knock them out quick.
I never even brought up Jimmy Butler. Like,
Jimmy would be on Kyrie. We
Jimmy.
know that. Jimmy's the only person you would. Well, I get Lowry a dog defensively too.
Jimmy would be on.
I
James.
would put Jimmy on Kyrie. I would put Lowry on Patty Mills when he come in the game, but I would put Jimmy on Kyrie because
Jimmy would be in foul trouble.
The reason
you can't afford that.
Let me be honest. The reason why I feel like we could beat them is because
you're a Miami fan.
This team,
I feel like we could beat Brooklyn.
Honestly, though, I
feel like it's 7 games I can beat Brooklyn. Of course.
This is the same team that went to the chip in the bubble, minus Gordon Dragic.
Hold up.
This is not the same team that went to the chip in the bubble.
Hold up.
No.
Hold up. You mean that same bubble that you devalue that ring that the Lakers got in? That's the bubble.
How do you sit there and say LeBron got a bubble ring and it don't mean nothing?
We talking about
Miami making it to the finals means something.
I didn't say it didn't mean nothing. We was talking about Anthony Davis.
That's the bubble we talking about.
We was talking about Anthony Davis. I said that was the only time Anthony Davis was healthy.
And you said,
and that was the one that he was going to get. Did I lie? They were only getting one.
And you said he got a bubble ring.
Because he had, the man had.
Saying it's a bubble ring is devaluing the ring.
Okay.
If it was a Miami ring, it would not be called a bubble ring.
You know what you would say?
We beat the Lakers ring.
We beat the Lakers.
I didn't speak on that. I just spoke on Anthony Davis. Because you said if it was the Bulls in that situation and the Bulls got that,
it's championship number 7. It ain't a bubble ring.
Exactly. But
I don't say Anthony Davis got a bubble ring. I say Anthony Davis got a championship.
Bro.
So you can't devalue a bubble ring on one side and on the other side be like, but Miami made it to the bubble. They got to the finals. Jimmy Butler was looking like he was changing carburetors on the sideline because he was playing 59 minutes a game.
Let him live. He can't end up getting cooked again.
Hey, listen. This is the thing. I don't mind being biased. I really don't. I got 36 inches of bullhead and gray hair. I'm biased.
But you asked me how they match up. This is technically the same team that made it to the bubble. This is the same championship.
So the bubble has value. So the bubble got value.
Minus Gordon Dragic and PJ Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
They've had experience now. Pat Riley has made the move. Like they actually know what they're doing. We've added. No, he's not cooking me.
Ringo. Might I add this though? Hey, listen. Hey, Ringo's absolutely right. It's the same team that made it to the NBA Finals in 2020.
This is a better team, to be honest with you.
Hold on.
It's a better team.
But this the thing. It's also the same team that had a clean first round exit last year.
Okay, we had a clean first round.
The Bucks looked at y'all was like, "Hey, we gotta get this out there. We had to make this." Hey, y'all that saw y'all was like, "That ain't happening again." Boom.
Hey.
What happened there?
Cool.
You want to see what it was?
You need some stuff to go your way.
This was the Miami.
You need some stuff to go your way. You need some stuff. You need
get them out of here.
To go your way? Hey, listen, you couldn't get one game and you made the bubble?
Dog, yeah, you need some stuff to go your way. 4-0.
You couldn't get one game?
God.
How about this? When you make moves like that,
y'all making I don't see. This is the thing. I don't mind y'all making all these jokes. It's fine. Y'all can do what y'all want to do.
But it's not a joke. It's a real legit question. It's not a joke. You couldn't get one game?
Fam, but this is my thing.
Y'all have said you're not beating me and you didn't beat him. How you get the bottle back that quick? It's a different bottle.
Different bottle. Hey, okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a lot of water bottles around me because I be sitting down here so often.
I got you. Hey, listen.
Hey, that was game 1 and 2. Game 3.
Hey, you can say that it's not a better matchup. But when they was healthy, you saw what the Nets did to y'all. Don't be salty.
Hey, we both agreed that the Nets healthy is the best team in the league.
I'm talking about the mugs in the comments that's saying that we're not a better team.
Listen.
If we wasn't a better team, how come y'all didn't beat us twice?
Hey, Ringo, to defend the chat though, when they were unhealthy, how'd Miami fare against them?
What you talk when the Nets wasn't healthy or when we wasn't healthy?
When the Nets was unhealthy, when Kyrie wasn't back, how'd Miami fare?
We beat
against
them
twice.
We beat them. I believe so.
I don't think y'all did.
Definitely beat them.
I think y'all beat them once and lost once.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, you play them next week, and then you play them on March 3rd.
Dog.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, so they ain't played all their games against them yet.
They ain't played all their games yet. They played them on October 27th, which is opening day for most teams, and you won by 13. So yeah.
Steve-O is hilarious, dog. He said,
by the way, Kyrie Irving wasn't playing, and it was just KD. Kyrie Irving wasn't playing. So you really didn't play a full strength Nets. You never played a full strength Nets.
Hey, and this is the thing.
You've never played a full strength Nets.
We all agree that Miami is a problem. We all agree that Miami is a better team right now than they were last year. But it's just funny because it's like Ringo show his bias sometimes towards some things, but if it's the team he playing against, there's no bias there, or there's no bias there. It's just hey, he got with Anthony Davis, he excited about a bubble ring, and then on the other side, I'm like, well, wouldn't you be? Well, yeah, if we got that ring, baby, it's another ring,
bro. Which is why Lakers will never get another one.
No, I wasn't gonna say never because it's the Lakers,
brother. Like,
it's the Lakers.
Not with this LeBron regime. They not.
It's the Lakers. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, right. Like,
hey, listen, they could trade AD right now, get a whole bunch of good value, and all of a sudden he's like fourth or fifth in the West. Like,
hey,
LeBron playing high level basketball.
They could trade AD right now to the Knicks and get all the players back that they lost in a 2-team deal.
And probably be way more competitive. Like they could trade Russ right now for a John Wall, and all of a sudden, hey, they probably get John Wall and something else if they make it work right. Like, listen, no, it's the Lakers for one story franchise, and they have a bunch of stars on their team that they can move.
Right, but the Lakers. No, they can't. Not this year anyway.
Steve-O said, "I'll take the grilled Ringo to go."
Hey, you can say I'm grilled out. You can say I'm grilled out. You want to? It's not my fault that y'all feelings is hurt.
No, but Ringo, our feelings are not hurt. You made an argument that you beat a full strength Nets, and you've never played the Nets full strength.
I didn't
like,
say
you've
that.
never played them full strength. We did. We got smacked. You've never done it.
We beat the Nets already.
Yeah, y'all didn't the Nets with just two of their stars playing. We played them with 3, and one of them didn't even have to score.
Ooh, child.
When we play them full strength, we'll be able to beat them.
You're not going to play them full strength because KD's still going to be out for both games that you play them coming up.
Hey, man.
So if you lose to them and KD's out, what does that say to you?
Someday they're gonna get brighter.
Kyrie might come through Miami and put up 40, and you're gonna have to live with me roasting you because guess what? KD's not going to be on the floor. The best guy in the league is not going to be on the floor. You still might struggle.
It is what it is, man.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
It is what it is now, or is it? Or you just gonna backtrack on it? Like, just backtrack and be like, hey, you know what? That's a good point. Because guess what? KD's not gonna play you. You still might struggle.
Someday. Things are gonna get a little bit brighter.
No, kid. You know what you gotta do? I mean, no, Pat. Hey, Pat, you know what you gotta do?
At this moment, he knew. I'm totally up for it.
Hey, at this moment, the thing is, so this the thing, right? They probably couldn't even hear me singing that, but I know on the video it's gonna be hilarious.
Hey, how come you have a such as that?
Oh man.
Hey man, this is just.
Hey, listen, I can't hate on good drip, dog. Yeah, I'm saying I can't hate on good drip. It's certain teams you can't wear, but a good jersey is a good jersey. Shout out to Corey, man. Corey in the chat. He said they're trying to bully my guy Ringo, man. I got your back.
This what they don't get. You can try to cook me all you want to, but history says we've been better than y'all for years. So at the end of the day, you will have to keep this up. I'm glad y'all at the table though.
Ringo, it's not you ain't been better, it's just your time. There was a whole decade where we don't even remember who the heck y'all was.
Hey man.
The biggest highlights I saw from the Miami Heat before Dwayne
the
Wade got
biggest
there was
highlight
getting
y'all
dunked
got
on
is Derrick
by
Rose dunking on
Vince
Dragic.
Carter. Shoulder
Hey,
shove.
hey,
Get
Ringo.
down. What are we talking about?
Got is Derrick
Ringo,
Rose dunking on Dragic.
before 03, who was Alonzo Mourning teammates?
Hey, Pat, I got him. G, watch this. Ringo, y'all retired Michael Jordan's jersey.
Bro, yes. Everybody
It's in your rafters.
Ooh, child.
Yeah, everybody.
What you gonna talk about? We've been better than y'all for years. We had a player so good, you retired his jersey.
His jersey need to be retired all over the league.
Ringo.
Kyle Lowry,
That don't stop the fact that he was so good, he retired your jersey.
If you actually watch the games, they kind of do the same thing. The only difference is Kyle Lowry take charges.
Someday.
Hey, I love you too, man. I love y'all. I love y'all, but it's not gonna put y'all right now.
No, it's the funniest thing though. You be making good points in the chat, but then you get up here, you stand on something. It's like Ringo, go to the strong suit, baby. Pivot. Hey, listen. Watch me, Jersey, out of getting roasted. No, I'm not gonna let you roast me for 10 minutes, dog. I'm gonna absolutely shift the conversation. You wanna know why? Because I'm not gonna let you do it. You're not getting deep roasted. You're right. You're right. You just got served this takeout. It's all right.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stop titling these videos because we'll never get to the topic I put in the title most times.
Dog, we had like 8 topics we didn't touch on.
Dog. I love the content.
That's because he want to talk about rats and junk.
Hey, we did spend the first 20 minutes talking about rats in New York. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We talk about everything. The only thing we didn't talk about is the Bears' defensive coaches. And be honest with you, half the chat don't know. Half the chat don't know.
All right, that's the title of the video.
Why would you title it that?
Oh, it's on me.
Yeah. Why would you title it off the topic that we ain't gonna talk about?
hey, he gonna title the video, hey, New York Rats, Chicago Rats.
Hey, I'm definitely changing the title of the video.
Hey, we should experiment with that clip and just see where it go.
Of y'all just going back and forth and me in the background singing?
No, I'm talking about the rats, and then we could talk about that because I mean, honestly, I mean, he gonna talk about we better than y'all for years, but you retired Michael Jordan's jersey.
Right. Okay, cool. But y'all just got a seat at the table. How long has it been?
We just got a seat at the table. Ringo, you just got a seat at the table. How has it?
No, this decade you just got here.
Ringo, y'all just got the table. Ringo, hey, how I get a seat at the table when we the table? Stop playing with Chicago, dog.
What? So you got the table because you first?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how that works.
Also, because we're the third winningest franchise in NBA history.
All I'm saying is this. Because y'all don't realize this. Don't be the
also because we're the third winningest franchise in NBA history.
Bro, that's all you got over anybody. That's all you got over anybody.
Rings matter in that conversation, though.
The 90s.
Rings matter.
The 90s.
Hey, the Yankees won in the 40s.
They
still talk about 16 rings or whatever it is. Oh, no, 27 rings.
We are in 2022.
They still talk about 27 rings with the Yankees.
We haven't won since the 90s. How many have you won since then?
Bro, what?
If anything, you underperformed.
Three. We got 3. Don't disrespect D-Wade like
that. Oh, 3. Okay. If anything, you underperformed. You had one of the greatest teams in NBA history. Went to the finals 4 times. It didn't even get it done. Shaq and Kobe got 3 out of 4. Talk to me.
When have I not said that LeBron choked that ring?
Hey, man.
I definitely said that.
Hey, we appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. As always, another morning. Y'all know when you come in here, you're going to wake up, man. You're going to get the spice. It's your boy Pat the Designer.
I'm glad y'all
joined by Ringo J. And of course, the pettiest fan alive.
Where's the Viagra when you need it? Underperformed.
Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there for another one, man. Peace.